Ice-apocalypse. This is how you can stock up on the greatest beauties. This video is purely for entertainment and does not infringe on copyrights or laws. The rights to the novel and image belong to the original author. We do not claim ownership. Don't like waiting and want to listen to this fanfic in full now? Subscribe to our Patreon, where you'll find the best fanfics. Chapter 326. Is this foreign girl deliberately taking advantage of me? And in Xialuo's view, although he spent a lot of crystals, they were all valuable. For example, if you increase the strength of Shen Miao and the others, Shen Miao and the others will not only be able to protect the Taoyuan territory in the future, but they will also be able to earn back all the spent crystals for Xialuo. Also, the same goes for building a teleportation array. To build a teleportation array, it seems that it will cost 50,000 energy points, which is 500 first-level crystals, but it's actually not difficult to earn it back, because according to what Xialuo said above, a city can have about 40 to 50 meteorites, and each meteorite contains an average of 60 crystals. The number of crystals in a city is about 2,400 to 3,000 first-level crystals, so when the time comes, as long as Xialuo can get all the meteorites in the city where the teleportation array is built, then the teleportation array built in that city can make a lot of money. The worst outcome is that even if you can't find all the meteorites in that city, as long as you can find 1/5, you basically won't lose money. Moreover, if another large meteorite can be found in other cities by then, not to mention losing money, Xialuo will make a lot of money. In addition, Xialuo is only talking about the crystal income from meteorites. These are only short-term benefits, and as long as teleportation arrays are built in other cities, there will be some long-term benefits, just like building a highway before the end of the world. Although the one-time investment is large, it can drive future economic development and bring long-term economic benefits. The same goes for building a teleportation array, because in the future, the wild will become very dangerous at that time. Due to traffic congestion, it will be difficult for survivors to communicate with each other between the shelters in each city. But in the future, if Xialuo can easily reach other cities in Taoyuan, even thousands of miles away, then Xialuo will definitely find many business opportunities. That's why Xialuo felt that building teleportation arrays was really a good business. Xialuo, who has always liked Gu, will take action personally this time, after Josiah Tong completed upgrading his abilities and became familiar with them. Xialuo took out the purchased super reconnaissance drones, heavy guns and other equipment and gave them to Josiah Tong. In addition, there is only one superpower user in the sub-territory, Josiah Tong. If there is a dangerous situation, Josiah Tong may not be able to cope with it, but don't worry too much. Xialuo also gave Josiah Tong the permission to use the Lord's Mansion portal. At that time, if there is really a danger here that she and the female soldiers cannot solve, then Josiah Tong can take everyone to teleport to the headquarters for refuge. In fact, Xialuo's future focus will definitely be on developing the headquarters. Xialuo also proposed to let Josiah Tong live there, leaving the sub-territory to Lin Mengxin and the others. However, Josiah Tong and Zhao Min said they were used to living here and didn't want to leave, so Xialuo left it to them. Anyway, Xialuo will not give up on the sub-territory. Apart from anything else, even having two lords' mansions here is an extra layer of protection, because if one territory is in danger, you can escape to another territory through the portal, and after the wall at the Taoyuan leader headquarters is built, Xialuo will also arrange for Qin Xianglin and Su Yan to come over to Josiah Tong to build the wall. The first phase of the project is to surround the entire Wutuangyun community first. The amount of this project is actually much smaller than that of the Longding Villa area. After the wall is built, the safety of Josiah Tong and the others will be greatly improved again. After everything at home was arranged, Xialuo didn't waste any more time and left the territory with Alice in a nuclear bulletproof vehicle. In addition, this time when he went out, Xialuo freed up several thousand cubic meters of space in his system, which should be enough. Xialuo's car drove forward. In fact, Xialuo had already roughly planned the route when he came out. This time Xialuo can choose to go north or south. If he goes north, the final destination will definitely be the capital. If you go south, your final destination is Shenzhen or Jiangxi. In the end, Xialuo chose to go south, probably because Xialuo had worked in Shenzhen city before and was more familiar with the route there. From Xialuo's current star city to Shenzhen city, there is a total distance of about 800 kilometers. Li Xiaoluo only needs to build 5 teleportation arrays, including the starting teleportation array at the Taoyuan leader headquarters. I want to say here that the nuclear bulletproof vehicle produced by the system is really good. It looks like the Knight XV before the end of the world. It is a very domineering off-road vehicle, and the space inside the car is also very spacious, including a bedroom, kitchen, bathroom, etc. In addition, in terms of speed, this car is very powerful and can reach a top speed of 300 km per hour, which is comparable to that of a sports car. Of course, Li Xiaoluo didn't want the car to crash and kill people, so he definitely couldn't drive so fast, because after the flood, the land outside was in a mess. There was also the meteorite disaster, and there were earthquakes. No one knew what would happen on the road ahead at the next moment, but, in fact, any blockage or damage on the road is not a big deal to Li Xiaoluo. After all, Li Xiaoluo is an all-round person. For example, when she was still in the city, Alice, who was sitting in the cab, looked at the road ahead and exclaimed, "Omg, dear, the road ahead is blocked by a big tree and a big truck. It seems we have to take a detour." But, in fact, when Alice was talking, Li Xiaoluo had already controlled the drone to check the big trees and vehicles blocking the road to see if they were caused by humans. Then, Li Xiaoluo controlled the drone to check around the area and confirmed that no one was ambushing him. Li Xiaoluo got out of the car, then directly took the big trees and trucks blocking the road into the system space, and then used the system space to throw them aside. In less than a minute, Li Xiaoluo cleared the road. It is simply more efficient than before the doomsday. My dear, you are so awesome. As soon as Li Xiaoluo returned to the cab, Alice's flaming red lips took the initiative to stick to her. Li Xiaoluo seriously doubted whether this foreign girl was deliberately taking advantage of him. After all, it is no longer the time to be in Ocean City. At that time, Li Charlotte's superpowers were magic in Alice's eyes, a means only available to God. But now that Alice is a superpower herself, she must know that Li Charlotte used space superpower just now. So what's all the fuss about? You still pretend to be surprised and take the opportunity to kiss yourself. What else is it to take advantage of? However, Li Xiaoluo generously said that he would let Alice be arrogant for a while, and then he would take advantage when driving at night. Chapter 327 Wanjia Shopping Mall. 3 o'clock in the afternoon, Li Xiaoluo arrived at his first destination, Hang City. He originally had to pass through a big city in the middle, but that city had a female military team sent by Li Xiaoluo, so Li Xiaoluo didn't waste time in that city. The soldiers are very fast. Li Xiaoluo needs to hurry up now. After entering Hang City, Li Xiaoluo did not drive around looking for meteorites by himself, because in Li Xiaoluo's view, this efficiency is too low. Although all the meteorites in the city are now ownerless, no one knows what their purpose is, but they are too scattered. If there are only 2 people, Li Charlotte and Alice, it will take a lot of time to find them, and Li Xiaoluo is short of time now. There is not much danger in the wild now, so Li Xiaoluo must go to as many cities as possible. He doesn't have much time to waste in one city, so while on the road, Li Xiaoluo thought of a way, which was to recruit people to work. In every city where teleportation arrays are built, Li Xiaoluo plans to recruit some people to search for meteorites for him. At that time, he can come through the teleportation array at any time to collect the results. In this case, it would definitely be much easier and faster than Li Xiaoluo running around in every city looking for meteorites. As for whether survivors can be recruited, and whether the survivors can be trusted, etc., it all depends on the situation, but Li Xiaoluo believes that these things should not be a problem for him. So after Li Xiaoluo entered the city, he kept using drones to look for the people he wanted to recruit. In fact, since the flood subsided, there are still many survivors going out for activities, and Li Xiaoluo also found many survivors along the way, but basically there are only 1 or 2 people or 3 or 5 people. They are too few and are not Li Xiaoluo's target. Li Xiaoluo wants to find a team with more survivors, because only with more people can Li Xiaoluo's mission be completed as quickly as possible, but Li Xiaoluo won't waste too much time. If there is no large survivor team in this city, then Li Xiaoluo can only, at this moment, from the perspective of the drone, Li Xiaoluo discovered that there were 2 groups of people fighting in a large shopping mall in front. Thousands of shopping malls. There is naturally a large supermarket in every Wanjia shopping mall, which can also be said to be the largest supermarket in the surrounding area. In fact, the food in these supermarkets has basically been soaked in water. If it were before the end of the world, no one would eat this kind of food that has been soaked in water for a long time. because it has been contaminated, but after the end of the world, the food that survivors can find is limited, and many people are hungry and have no choice but to eat these contaminated foods. After all, it's better than starving to death. Moreover, some foods are not too seriously contaminated because of their packaging. Even those that are more seriously contaminated can still fill your stomach after boiling them in water. Therefore, large supermarkets in the city have naturally become key targets for survivors. At this time, there were two groups of people fighting in Wangjia shopping mall. To be precise, one group of people was attacking the survivors in Wangjia shopping mall. In fact, during the flood, there was a relatively large group of survivors in the apartment near Wangjia Mall. The leader of this group of survivors was Wang Zhan. He was a very loyal man and had many friends before the apocalypse. After the end of the world, he relied on his large number of men, so he naturally gathered many survivors around him. Although some people were actually forced by Wang Zhan to join their team, after joining, those people felt that following Wang Zhan and his team was not bad, because Wang Zhan's team is still different from other teams in Doomsday. For example, although Wang Zhan and his team also have women in their team are not treated as slaves, but they are not slaves and have the right to work and vote. It's not that Wang Zhan is so noble, it's mainly that Wang Zhan is actually a rather ambitious person. Wang Zhan has been fond of history since he was a child, especially wanting to be like the heroes in history and one day become a dominant figure. He would have never dared to think about it before the apocalypse, but after the apocalypse, he felt that he might have the chance to realize his dream. That's why Wang Zhan didn't create a mess in his team, and he didn't let the men in the team treat women as slaves for venting, because Wang Zhanju believes that if he wants to achieve great things and become bigger and stronger, his team must be different from those thug teams. It must have a good atmosphere and must develop sustainably, so he wants to formulate some more benevolent rules so that everyone can truly believe in him. Of course, Wang Zhan will also use some small means and policies to increase everyone's loyalty to him. For example, Wang Zhan is very loyal to his core brothers, and his women can share that sincerity. Also, he established a convoy, and then all men who join the convoy must find a woman in the group to date and develop a relationship, because in that case, all the men in the escort team will be concerned. They will not betray easily, and will be more united when encountering danger. Of course, the main reason why Wang Zhan did not treat women as slaves was because there was a person named Ding Tingting in his team. This Ding Tingting may not look like a woman, but she is proficient in sanda, martial arts, fighting. It can be said that she is a woman with very strong fighting ability. Although Wang Zhan is tall and tall, he has been getting into fights since he was a child. He has always been relatively confident in his fighting ability, and dealing with 2 or 3 ordinary men is not a problem at all. But if you were to challenge Ding Tingting in a duel, he might really not be able to beat Ding Tingting. In fact, if Wang Zhan relies on force to coerce, it will be difficult for Ding Tingting to join his team. However, although Ding Tingting can play, she still has her older mother and sister to take care of, so she needs to join a team, and Wang Zhan has always treated Ding Tingting like Anbi in his team. After all, in such troubled times, powerful talents are very valuable, especially people like Ding Tingting. She is not only a woman, because women are not as easy to betray as men by nature. Moreover, Ding Tingting also has a mother and sister, so she is naturally even less likely to betray her. She is definitely one of his most trustworthy subordinates. Bang, bang. But at this time in Wangjia Mall, Wang Zhan looked at the group of crazy people outside with a very ugly expression. This group of people are just crazy people. There seem to be 20 or 30 people in total. Originally, Wang Zhan's team now consisted of 50 or 60 people, and basically every man had a knife, axe and other weapons in his hand. In addition, they are still in the mall, so it can be said that they have a geographical advantage. So at the beginning, Wang Zhan didn't really pay much attention to the group outside who wanted to seize ownership of the mall. He thought that as long as his side could defeat an attack by that group of people, they would naturally retreat in spite of the difficulties. But soon, Wang Zhan realized the ferocity of the group outside. They first drove some thin ordinary survivors, even women, to lead the battle, and then their main force was mixed in with the old, weak, women and children. On the one hand, that group of people wanted to see Wang Zhan's strength, and on the other hand, they also wanted to see Wang Zhan's bottom line. If Wang Zhan and the others did not dare to attack ordinary survivors, then they could follow the ordinary survivors and enter the mall easily. Chapter 328: The Sudden Appearance of the Car. However, Wang Zhan is obviously not a good person. Although his team is relatively democratic internally, they will not be lenient in killing people if you are soft-hearted after this apocalypse. You will have no chance of surviving until now, so those old, weak, women and children who were driven to die, if anyone dared to come close, Wang Zan and the others would directly stab them to death with spears. Seeing that the attack with cannon fodder failed, the gang of thugs outside Wanjia shopping mall stopped trying to use tricks. They directly began to organize elites to charge. The core elite of the group of thugs outside the mall seemed to be young teenagers, and some of them might even have been students before the end, but they fought very crazily, holding all kinds of weapons and charging into the mall desperately. They smashed the tempered glass of the mall with hammers. Some people were injured, and some were hit with blood on their faces by Wang Zan, and others it was dripping wet, but none of them screamed and no one quit the battle. Wang Zan and his team have actually experienced a lot of battles in the apocalypse, but they have never encountered such a crazy and unafraid of death team. Wang Zan's men almost chickened out. Fortunately, Ding Ting Ting stepped forward at the critical moment. Her fighting power was indeed stronger than most men. A watermelon knife in her hand was like the scythe of death, constantly slashing and killing those lunatics who wanted to rush into the mall, and Wang Zan's men were encouraged by Ding Ting Ting, and they also knew that if they were really defeated by the group outside, their lives and women might be lost. It can also be seen at this time that the strategy Wang Zan formulated before is still very effective. Wang Zan lets the men in his escort team develop feelings for the women in the team. Then these men will be braver when facing powerful enemies and will not think of surrendering easily, because as long as they surrender, their beloved women will also become prisoners of others. At that time, they can only watch their women being ruined. So in the face of the madness of the enemy outside, the men of the escort team, led by Ding Ting Ting, never flinched even if they were injured. In addition, they had a geographical advantage, and finally repelled the enemy temporarily. But on Wang Zan's side, after the battle, more than 10 people were injured. Those crazy bastards, I really want to skin them. They don't want to live, so there's no need to come and drag me along. On Wang Zan's side, a man who had his shoulder slashed looked at the group of lunatics outside and gnashed his teeth in hatred, because in the post-apocalypse, as long as you are injured, even a small cut with a knife, it is actually very dangerous, because there is no medical treatment after the end of the world. Even the medicines are basically not in good condition. Moreover, the sanitary conditions after the apocalypse are already poor, and the flood has just ended. If you are injured, you will be easily infected with the bacteria, which will be even more troublesome. In fact, Wang Zan's men didn't want to fight the lunatics outside at all, but in order to survive and protect their women, they had no choice. Fortunately, those madmen were finally repelled. However, before the people on Wang Zan's side had time to celebrate, the group of lunatics outside suddenly launched another attack. However, the group of lunatics outside must have lost some men, so the number of people they attacked this time was only about 10, and some of them were still bleeding. Although the people on Wang Zan's side were still quite scared, they seemed to be angry. They didn't need Wang Zan to mobilize before the war. They all clenched the weapons in their hands, planning to give the mad dogs outside another blow. A hard blow, but this time, just when the people on both sides were about to fight together again, someone from the group of lunatics outside suddenly took out a pistol, and then fired several shots at the people hiding behind the bunker on Wang Zan's side. The people on Wang Zan's side never thought that those lunatics still had guns in their hands. Caught off guard, 2 people on Wang Zan's side were killed and 1 was injured immediately. As for the many remaining people, they were immediately frightened. Some even fled their positions immediately and ran towards the mall. Running away is contagious. As long as 1 or 2 people are scared enough to run away, others will naturally follow suit. Then, most of the people also fled in the end. Only Wang Zan, a few of his henchmen, and a woman, Ding Ting Ting, were left. They originally wanted to hold on, but now that most of them have run away, it seems they can't hold on at all, and the other party also has a gun. But Wang Zan and Ding Ting Ting were a little unwilling, because they knew what it meant to let these lunatics enter the mall, especially in Wang Zan's view. If they were defeated, then his leader would definitely die, because in the apocalypse, few teams still retain the leader of the enemy team after defeating the enemy unless Wang Zan surrenders from the beginning. Then maybe we can negotiate terms, but now that he has been defeated and the other party has lost a lot of manpower, how could the other party let him go? Keep him so that he can have the chance to rebel again in the future. The reason why Ding Ting Ting is unwilling is because she has seen the madness of the group outside. When they become prisoners, her relatives will definitely be harmed, but now everyone in the team is scared and has run away. Although Ding Ting Ting is better at boxing and kicking, she has no choice but to do anything if the opponent has a gun. However, Just when Wang Zan and Ding Tingting were a little desperate, suddenly, their eyes widened. It seemed like I saw something incredible. Outside the shopping mall, a very powerful off-road vehicle suddenly drove over. Although they didn't recognize the brand of that off-road vehicle, it looked like it was worth a lot of money. Of course, what surprised Wang Zan and Ding Tingting the most was not how much the domineering off-road vehicle would be worth before the end. What surprised them was, how could there still be driving cars today? Although the flood is over, the entire city is full of soaked and abandoned cars. Moreover, those cars are now ownerless, and they belong to whoever wants them. But all the cars have been soaked in water for so long. How can there be any cars that are intact and still running? So when they suddenly saw a car appearing outside the mall, and it was a brand new and very domineering off-road vehicle, could Wang Zan and Ding Tingting not be surprised? Was this domineering off-road vehicle parked on the roof of the building during the flood? Otherwise, why are there no traces of being soaked in water? Soon, not only Wang Zan and Ding Tingting noticed the off-road vehicle driven by Xialuo, even the group of lunatics who were about to continue attacking the mall were attracted by this domineering off-road vehicle. Chapter 329. He wants both the car and the foreign girl. Brother Zhao, that car is so handsome. I feel like it was tailor-made for you. Only you, Brother Zhao, are worthy of it. The eldest brother of the group that attacked Wanjia shopping mall was named Liu Zhao. Before the end, his father was named Liu Fuguo. He started from scratch and was a famous local rich man and a local figure, but Liu Fuguo's only son Liu Zhao is a standard dandy, and he is the kind of dandy who likes to cause trouble. Before the end, Liu Zhao caused a lot of trouble for his father. However, Liu Fuguo felt that he was too busy with business and did not have much time to spend with his son, so he always felt that he owed his son a lot, so he always indulged Liu Zhao. As a result, Liu Zhao often led a group of scoundrels to cause trouble, and this group of bad teenagers often gathered around him. Moreover, they are still a group of very arrogant and crazy teenagers. However, before the end, because they are restrained by order, they do not dare to do anything too outrageous, otherwise they are afraid of eating peanuts. But after the end of the world, especially after the collapse of order, Liu Zhao and his group of thugs completely liberated their nature, and because Liu Zhao still had a gun in his hand, they had killed countless people and insulted many women. In short, they can do whatever they want after the apocalypse. Moreover, before today, the survivors they encountered were all jerks. They basically frightened them fiercely and immediately begged for mercy. Those survivors thought that after surrendering, Liu Zhao and the others would at least not kill people casually. However, the survivors who surrendered to Liu Zhao all thought wrong. Liu Zhao and his group are all lunatics. They only need lunatics in their team and don't need prisoners. All the prisoners who surrendered to Liu Zhao and the others will be killed after Liu Zhao and the others have had enough fun. They don't raise trash, even women. They will kill all women when they have had enough fun. There is not a single woman among the official members of Liu Zhao's team. Those women will only affect the speed at which they draw their swords. But Liu Zhao and the others did not expect that the group of people they met in Wanjia Mall today would cause them heavy losses, mainly the group of people in Wanjia shopping mall. Unlike the survivors Liu Zhao and the others usually encounter, even if the number of survivors they usually encounter is relatively large. As long as they are killed by a wave of Liu Zhao and the others, many people will immediately die. I was so scared that I ran away for my life, because people are selfish. No one will rush to fight for others. They only think that others can fight for them. But this group of survivors in this shopping mall not only fought hard one by one, but there was also a woman who was particularly powerful. This led to Liu Zhao's people suffering heavy losses. In the end, Liu Zhao had no choice but to take out his gun. In fact, the reason why Liu Zhao and the others were crazy before was because when they were fighting survivors, they enjoyed the feeling of killing the survivors with their own hands with knives, and then watch their blood dripping with fear on their faces. So in normal battles, Liu Zhao and the others would basically not use guns. Killing people like that is so meaningless. Of course, another reason is that Liu Zhao doesn't have many bullets in his gun. He only uses one bullet at a time, so he must use it sparingly. But the people in this shopping mall caused heavy losses to his men. Liu Zhao must capture this shopping mall and then kill the people in this shopping mall with thousands of swords. Originally, everything was already under Liu Zhao's control. When Liu Zhao shot and killed several people in the mall, he immediately completely destroyed the morale of those in the mall. Liu Zhao was originally planning to go all out and take his remaining thugs into the mall to kill people. Suddenly, a domineering off-road vehicle appeared in their sight. However, Liu Xiaoji was right that he was a BCH. This car that suddenly appeared seemed to be tailor-made for him. Only he could be worthy of such a stylish car. At this moment, Liu Zhao no longer had the time to worry about cleaning up the people in the mall. This off-road vehicle that suddenly appeared was the focus of his attention. Then, Liu Zhao quickly hid the gun in his waist, because he was afraid of scaring away the people in the car. Although Liu Zhao acts crazy, he is not stupid either. He knew that even if he had a gun in his hand, if the people in that car wanted to drive away, his people would not be able to stop him. So now we must not alert the enemy. Liu Zhao was thinking about whether there is any good way to get the people in the car to get off. Food woman. It seems like Liu Zhao and the others are not around. At this moment, Liu Zhao was so anxious. However, the next moment, Liu Zhao's face showed a look of ecstasy, because the door of the off-road vehicle really opened, and then a man and a woman got out of the vehicle for Liu Zhao. Happiness seemed to come too suddenly. Haha, as long as the people in the car dare to get out of the car, this domineering off-road vehicle will belong to Liu Zhao from now on. No one can stop me when I come. Haha, brother Zhao, are the people in this car stupid? Did they get out of the car on their own initiative? Damn it, brother Zhao, there's a blonde girl with blue eyes. She's really big, so tall, it's so big and tall. Can you use the words? It's so tall and beautiful looking. At least Xialuo and Alice getting off the off-road vehicle, especially Alice, who has a tall figure and incredible appearance. Liu Zhao's henchman suddenly exclaimed, even before the end of the world, the appearance of a beauty of Alice's caliber would definitely attract many wolf friends to watch. What's more, it's still the end of the world, and most of the female survivors now have almost no connection with words like beautiful and sexy. The reason why Liu Zhao and his team don't have a fixed number of women is because they don't have women that Liu Zhao and his team are crazy about. Sometimes Liu Zhao and his team can't even afford promotions to women who are dirty and frail. Impulsive desire. But now that he saw Alice, even Liu Zhao's eyes flashed with surprise. Very good, he feels impulsive. Liu Zhao decided that he wanted both the off-road vehicle and the foreign girl. Moreover, the rules of his team may need to be changed in the future. They can also have a few regular women in the future. Go. Quickly, they have guns in their hands. Just when Liu Zhao had a happy fantasy and was about to lead his henchmen to surround Li Xiaoluo and Alice, over at Wanjia Mall, a woman suddenly shouted a reminder. The person shouting is none other than Ding Ting Ting in the mall. However, Ding Ting Ting's shouting made Wang Zan next to Ding Ting Ting look ugly. Ding Ting Ting, what are you shouting for? We still have to consider what we should do first. In fact, Wang Zan was very happy about the sudden appearance of the off-road vehicle and the two people who got off the vehicle, because in this way, Liu Zhao's group of lunatics will have no time to deal with them. Wang Zan and the others will have time to think of ways to deal with the crisis at hand. For example, Wang Zan and the others could choose to retreat to the second floor of the shopping mall, and then have time to block the stairs and elevators leading to the second floor with obstacles. Or, Wang Zan and the others can take everyone and escape from the back door of the mall. Anyway, as long as those lunatics are held back, no matter what method, they have time to do it. But when Ding Ting Ting shouted like this, Wang Zan was afraid that he would anger Liu Zhao and his group of lunatics, and then ask Liu Zhao and the others to give up on dealing with the people in the off-road vehicle, and then turn around and deal with them first. But Wang Zan has obviously thought too much. In Liu Zhao's eyes, the off-road vehicle and Alice, a top-notch foreign girl, are what he wants most. Wang Zan and the others are nothing. Chapter 330 Thunder Bomb. In fact, after Ding Ting Ting shouted, Liu Zhao was afraid of scaring away his prey, but what made Liu Zhao very happy was that after hearing the warning from people in the mall, the two people who got off the off-road vehicle did not immediately panic and run away. Have personality, have courage. Liu Zhao, likes people like this. You, too, don't worry. Liu Zhao, am not a murderous demon. My team also welcomes people with ability and courage to join. Now I can give you a chance. Are you willing to join my team? Liu Zhao showed a kind smile to Li Charlotte and Alice. After all, with a top-notch beauty around, men will subconsciously behave like a gentleman. Honey, are they the people you want to do things with? When Alice faced Liu Zhao and a group of men gathered around her, there was no panic on her face at all. Alice knew that Li Xiaoluo was looking for someone to look for meteorites for him, so she subconsciously thought it was people like Liu Zhao. But for people like Liu Zhao, Alice felt a little disgusted from the bottom of her heart, because their eyes are annoying. Li Xiaoluo shook his head slowly. I'm not looking for them, and I don't have time to talk nonsense with them. Just deal with them all, Li. Xialuo had already seen clearly what happened here through the drone before, and also knew the situation of Liu Zhao and Wang Zan here in Li Xiaoluo's view. Liu Zhao's group is more powerful, but they are a little crazy and not easy to control. Therefore, Li Xiaoluo is more inclined to recruit a group of people in the mall to do things for him. After all, Li Xiaoluo didn't recruit people to fight, so he didn't need them to be very powerful. Obedience and good control are the most important. Haha, Brother Zhao, where did this man come from? Why don't you talk nonsense to us? And you have killed us all? Who gave him the courage to say this? Haha, he must be used to showing off in front of this beautiful foreign girl. Hearing Li Xiaoluo's careless words, the loser next to Liu Zhao laughed very happily. It's been a long time since they've seen such an idiot. Are they really pretending to be cool? They were a dozen tough men holding machetes, staring at him eagerly. Moreover, their brother Zhao still has a gun in his hand. Who gave him the courage to pretend? But soon, Liu Zhao's henchmen knew who gave Li Xiaoluo the courage. After Li Xiaoluo asked Alice to deal with these little shrimps, they didn't notice the excitement in Alice's eyes. Maybe even Li Xiaoluo didn't expect that after awakening the thunder power, Alice's genes had turned into violent militant. After receiving Li Xiaoluo's order, Alice began to gather lightning powers, and then directly threw a thunder bomb towards Liu Zhao and the others. Let me talk about it here. When Alice's thunder power was still at level 1, her main attack method was thunder and lightning. A bolt of lightning could directly burn the enemy into coke. However, after Alice's thunder ability was upgraded to level 2, Alice's attack method added a thunder bomb. To put it simply, Alice condenses the energy of lightning into a sphere the size of a grenade, and then throws the lightning bomb. It will explode as long as it collides with other objects. As for the power of thunder and lightning bombs, they are definitely no less powerful than ordinary bombs. Bang! Before Liu Zhao and the others could react, lightning bombs exploded next to them. Liu Zhao, who was at the center of the explosion, was blown to pieces by the huge energy, and the dozen or so scoundrels following Liu Zhao were all killed almost instantly. The only one who was lucky was that he didn't rush to the front in excitement after seeing Alice like other men, so he was only injured and not killed on the spot. However, the man has not had time to be happy yet. Alice waved her hand at him, and another bolt of lightning struck at the man. In an instant, the man was electrocuted and turned into pitch-black coke. Alice curled her lips in disdain. With such little ability, she still wants to make up her mind. In almost a few breaths, Liu Zhao and his group were wiped out. Alice, who was taking action for the first time, looked very excited. Her face was flushed, and she was very beautiful and attractive. However, Li Xiaoluo is quite calm. After all, Alice is not only a level 2 superpower, but also a very talented genius. Therefore, Li Xiaoluo has already been mentally prepared for her stronger combat power. However, besides Li Xiaoluo and Alice, there were also a group of people in the mall who were dumbfounded. Originally, after Ling Tingting reminded her loudly, Li Xiaoluo and Alice still stood there calmly, with no intention of escaping. Wang Zan and some men in the shopping mall thought that Li Xiaoluo and the others must be fools. It's the end of the world. Don't you have any sense of vigilance? But what happened next simply shattered Wang Zan's outlook on things. When Alice took action for the first time, she used a lightning bomb and killed many people. At this time, Wang Zan and the others were also surprised, but what surprised them was that they didn't see clearly when the bomb was hidden in the foreign girl's hand. As for the power of the bomb, Wang Zan and the others subconsciously ignored it, because they have never seen what a real bomb explosion looks like before, and what kind of power it must have. But it wasn't until Alice casually struck another bolt of lightning that killed the last man and turned him into pitch-black coke. At this time, everyone in the mall was dumbfounded. They feel like their CPU is going to be smoked. Even they couldn't believe their eyes. A foreign woman with blonde hair and blue eyes who is as beautiful as an angel can actually attract thunder and lightning at will. This apocalypse is indeed getting crazier and crazier. But Li Xiaoluo was in a hurry, and he didn't have time for the people in the mall to digest what just happened. Li Xiaoluo took Alice to the entrance of the mall, and then shouted to the people inside the mall, "Everyone, I have helped you resolve your crisis. Now I need all of you to come out of the mall. I have a deal I want to talk to you about." In fact, the battle that took place at the entrance of the mall was naturally watched secretly by all the survivors in the mall from different places. Now everyone in the mall looked at Li Xiaoluo and Alice in shock. When they heard Li Xiaoluo's shouting, many people subconsciously wanted to walk out of the mall. After all, if they can hug Li Charlotte and Alice, even if they become their servants, then they will feel safe in their hearts. That's a godlike person. But Li Xiaoluo's words and the behavior of his men made Wang Zan's face very ugly. The reason why Wang Zan resisted Liu Zhao's lunatics to the end was because this team belonged to him and he had greater ambitions. How could he be willing to succumb to others? Even though Li Xiaoluo and Alice may not be ordinary people, Wang Zan is still unwilling to do so. But Wang Zan didn't dare to directly stop his men inside the mall from leaving because he was afraid of angering the two people outside. So Wang Zan winked at a few of his confidants and asked them to block the door first. Then, Wang Zan shouted to Li Xiaoluo and Alice outside the door, "Gentlemen and beauties outside, can we first ask what kind of deal you want to negotiate with us?" If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelis. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 331. Wang Zan is reluctant to give up power. Li Xiaoluo had no time to talk nonsense with people in the mall. He said coldly, "Everyone, listen, my patience is limited, you'd better come out immediately, otherwise I won't be negotiating a deal with you. I have already given you a chance. If you want to seek death, then don't regret it then." Naturally, everyone can hear the threat in Li Xiaoluo's words. Wang Zan originally thought that since Li Xiaoluo would talk about a deal with him, he would be easy to talk to, and at least he would remain friendly on the surface. But who would have thought that Li Xiaoluo's painting style would suddenly change? Wang Zan originally wanted to say something to Li Xiaoluo outside. But the people in the mall gave up and immediately started shouting at Wang Zan, "Brother Zan, let's get out quickly, otherwise the adult outside may be angry." "That's right, let's get out quickly. The two adults outside just saved us. They shouldn't hurt us again, right?" Most people in the shopping mall are actually a little afraid of Wang Zan, so they don't dare to say too much, but there are some people who don't give Wang Zan face at all. "Wang Zan, what do you want to do? Originally, others wanted to negotiate a deal with us, but now you insist on angering them without knowing what is good and bad, and then, you want all of us to be killed by you, right?" The speaker is Zhou Heitao, a young man in his 20s. Zhou Heitao joined Wang Zan's team relatively late, and he was the one who was personally rescued by Wang Zan. He has always been very loyal to Wang Zan. However, Zhou Heitao is actually an ambitious person. In his heart, he has always been thinking about Wang Zan's leadership position. It's just that in the past, Wang Zan was stronger than him in terms of prestige and strength. He felt that he had no chance to challenge Wang Zan's authority, so he never dared to behave differently. But today, Wang Zan had just led them to a huge defeat, and the prestige had been severely reduced. Now he has made the two powerful people outside unhappy again, and may bring trouble to their team. Zhou Heitao can't bear it anymore. Just don't give Wang Zan any face. Although he will definitely offend Wang Zan by doing this, it can also undermine Wang Zan's prestige in their team again, and he can also gain the favor of some team members. In addition, maybe I can leave a good impression on those two powerful adults outside. Therefore, Zhou Heitao is planning to make a big gamble. If he wins the bet, he might actually realize his wish. Wang Zan looked at Zhou Heitao coldly. He did not expect that Zhou Heitao not only dared to call him by his name, but also dared to speak to him in this tone. This naughty kid is really well hidden. Zhou Heitao is usually very attentive to Wang Zan. If Zhou Heitao hadn't joined their team relatively late, he would have become Wang Zan's true confidant. Moreover, Wang Zan was originally planning to promote Zhou Heitao to his true confidant after a while. Unexpectedly, I actually made a mistake, and if Zhou Heitao dared to talk to him like this before, or if anyone in the team dared to disobey him, Wang Zan would have dealt with them in 100 ways. But now, because of the previous defeat with Liu Zhao and his gang of thugs, plus the two mysterious people who suddenly appeared outside, Wang Zan feels that his prestige in the team has been severely reduced, and he even has no way to control the situation now. Now even if Zhou Heitao challenges his authority, Wang Zan can't kill Zhou Heitao directly. Instead, he has to explain, "Zhou Heitao, don't talk nonsense. When did I want to kill everyone? The reason why I asked the person outside what the deal was is because I am the leader of this team and I need to be responsible for everyone's safety. If I let everyone out without asking anything clearly, I am afraid that the person is trying to trick us get out, otherwise everyone will be in danger." Zhou Heitao looked at Wang Zan and sneered, "Wang Zan, I think you are reluctant to give up your power, so that's why you don't let us out. As you can see, we were about to be defeated by that group of lunatics before. If the two adults outside wanted to harm us, would they still save us? They only had to stand by and watch us being killed by those lunatics. Isn't it okay to just die? Moreover, the beautiful woman outside is so powerful, she is simply not someone we can deal with. With just a wave of her hand, we will be wiped out by her, so they still need to pretend to lure us out? After finishing speaking, Zhou Heitao ignored Wang Zan's ugly face and said loudly to everyone, no matter what Wang Zan thinks, he is afraid, or has other selfish motives. But I think we should go out immediately, and we must not anger the two mysterious adults outside. If we can make a deal with those two mysterious adults, it will definitely be good for us. Or if those two mysterious adults want to recruit us, then we can just follow them. The worst outcome is that if the two adults outside are really bad guys and want to kill us, then we can only be said to be unlucky. In short, I am going out now, and I am going out voluntarily. I will bear all the consequences myself. If there are still people who want to go out, then go out with me. If there are people who want to continue hiding in the mall with Wang Zan, if you are waiting and watching, then you don't have to go out and continue to wait and see if our people who go out are in danger. After Zhou Heitao finished speaking, the survivors in the entire shopping mall began to talk about it, and many people immediately expressed their opinions. Heitao, I think your analysis is right. I will go out with you. If there is danger, it will be of my own free will. Brother Tao, I'll go out with you too. In an instant, there were more than 20 men who wanted to go out immediately. No one is stupid. They naturally know why Zhou Heitao wants to go out first. It is said that once the emperor is equal to his courtiers, the one who goes out to show his loyalty first will definitely be reused. Wang Zan's expression changed for a while, and then he suddenly said loudly, brothers and sisters, we have been together for so long. You also know what I, Wang Zan, am like. When have I, Wang Zan, been timid and unloyal? Since everyone we all think we should go out, so let's go out together. In fact, Wang Zan didn't want to confront Li Xiaoluo at first. He just wanted to delay it for a while, and then negotiate with Li Xiaoluo outside to see first Li Xiaoluo's true intention, whether he wanted to join their team. Wang Zan is indeed reluctant to give up his power, but now that things are out of his control, he will definitely not insist on it anymore. If Zhou Heitao succeeds in instigating a quarrel, then Wang Zan will not be able to please both sides. Chapter 332 found another person with supernatural talents. Now it was Zhou Heitao's turn to change his expression. He didn't expect Wang Zan to be so unprincipled. You should continue to stick to your principles. As long as Wang Zan continues to insist not to go out, Zhou Heitao can replace Wang Zan, and then lead some people out to meet Master Wang. No, he is risking his life by going out, but now that Wang Zan is going out, the person who will represent their team will naturally be Wang Zan. Without keeping Li Xiaoluo waiting, the people in the mall quickly moved away all the obstacles blocking the mall door, and then a group of men and women walked out of the mall. It seems that the people in this mall have made a wise choice, otherwise, Li Xiaoluo would not have time to argue with them. If they did not come out, Li Xiaoluo would just ask Alice to send them a few thunderbolts. Sometimes, talking nicely is not as effective as using force. Hello, sir, my name is Wang Zan, and I am the leader of this group. Thank you very much to you and your wife for saving us just now. Now that all of us have come out, there are 56 of us in total. What do you need us to do? As long as we can do it, we will never refuse. After meeting Li Xiaoluo, Wang Zan spoke first, and unlike his previous attitude in the mall, Wang Zan's attitude at this time was very low, because Wang Zan knew what it meant for them to come out of the mall, which meant that they completely gave up resistance and left their life and death to Li Xiaoluo's disposal. Because if they are still in the mall, even if Li Charlotte and Alice are mysterious and powerful, it will still take a lot of effort to kill them all. Even if they can't be defeated, Wang Zan and the others can still use the terrain of the mall to evade or escape. But now that they have come out of the mall, after seeing Alice's mystery and power, Wang Zan and the others can no longer resist at all. Even if Wang Zan wanted to resist, none of his men would follow him to death. In the face of absolute strength, no one would really be willing to die for Wang Zan. Wang Zan also understands this current situation very well, so he is very humble now. Li Xiaoluo glanced at Wang Zan, who was speaking casually. Although Wang Zan's previous performance almost made Li Xiaoluo lose his patience, Li Xiaoluo was too lazy to argue with him. Li Xiaoluo is not here to seize power, as long as he can be obedient and complete his mission. Ahem. Li Xiaoluo coughed, and everyone's attention immediately turned to him. Then Li Xiaoluo said, "My name is Li Xiaoluo, you can call me Mr. Li from now on. Naturally, when I save you this time, I am not doing something out of righteousness. Because I do have something that I need you to do for me. As for what I want you to do, it's actually very simple. A lot of meteorites suddenly fell from the sky this time, and I need you to find those meteorites for me." Looking for meteorites, Wang Zan and the others did not expect that what Li Xiaoluo asked them to do would be this. Are meteorites valuable? If it were before the end of the world, meteorites seem to be quite valuable indeed, maybe as precious as gold, but that's because in the prosperous times, rich people like to buy those stones, and meteorites were also very rare before the end of the world, so they were quite valuable. But it's the end of the world now, who would want those meteorites? And Li Xiaoluo himself said that a lot of meteorites fell from the sky this time, and the things everywhere were naturally even more worthless. But Li Xiaoluo didn't give them time to think about it, and continued. As long as you are willing to go out to look for meteorites for me, then I will provide you with some cars as transportation and some guns so that you can deal with dangers. After you bring back the meteorites, I will give you corresponding rewards according to the number of meteorites you brought back. Whether I have contaminated medicines, food and other supplies, you can choose what rewards you want at that time. After Mr. Li finished speaking, the crowd immediately became excited. Mr. Li, can you really give us medicine? Mr. Li, will you give us guns? If we had guns, we wouldn't have to be afraid of those thug teams. Mr. Li, as long as I can eat food that is not contaminated, I will do anything you ask me to do. No wonder everyone was excited after Li Xiaoluo finished speaking, because the supplies Li Xiaoluo mentioned are actually what they need most right now. For example, there were no contaminated medicines. When fighting those madmen before, a dozen of them were injured. Originally, they were still praying, hoping that they could get through it or be lucky enough to find some non-contaminated medicines. Unexpectedly, they really see hope now. Li Xiaoluo didn't talk nonsense. He waved his hand casually, and several bags of normal rice and some medicines appeared in front of everyone. Suddenly, everyone was shocked by Li Xiaoluo's move. They were shocked when they saw that the foreign girl next to Li Xiaoluo could emit thunder and lightning. Everyone had been speculating that since Charlotte Li could be with Alice, he might also have mysterious abilities. Looking at it now, it is indeed the case, but Li Xiaoluo's ability still exceeded their imagination. They never thought that Li Xiaoluo could create things out of thin air. Looking at the bags of rice and the well-packaged medicines that Li Xiaoluo took out, everyone believed what Li Xiaoluo said. It is indeed food and medicine without any contamination, because the Wanjia shopping mall they just stayed in actually had a lot of food, and there was even a pharmacy in the shopping mall, so naturally there were a lot of medicines, but almost 99% of the food and medicines in that shopping mall were moldy and rotten. Even if there were some that were not rotten, they were basically contaminated by water. After all, the previous flood lasted for a month. Even the well-packaged drinks would be contaminated and spoiled after being soaked in water for a month, not to mention food like rice, all of which have already turned into mold. So now Li Xiaoluo can bring out intact rice and medicine, which is enough to show Li Xiaoluo's magic. Seeing the excited crowd, Li Xiaoluo was very satisfied with the effect. This is also the reason why Li Xiaoluo did not directly use force to force them to do things for him, because sometimes the more oppression, the lower the production efficiency. On the contrary, Li Xiaoluo only needs to pay a little bit for food and medicine, which is enough for them to work desperately for him. Li Xiaoluo did not waste any time and asked those who were willing to do things for him to raise their hands. Suddenly, everyone raised their hands high. Li Xiaoluo waved his hand and asked them all to put their hands down. Although they are all willing to accept their employment, Li Xiaoluo will not want everyone. So naturally they still need to go through a simple screening. Wang Zan, Friendship Level 39, Potential Value 89, Special Ability, Power System, To Be Awakened. Chapter 333. Let's change the leader of this team. What Li Xiaoluo calls screening people is actually using his exploratory eyes to check everyone's information, and this time, Li Xiaoluo didn't just want to see how friendly they were. The purpose of checking everyone's friendliness is naturally very simple, just to see if there is anyone with evil intentions, because if there are people who are not very friendly, then when Li Xiaoluo gives them food such as rice and medicine, it will be a waste. But if Li Xiaoluo gives them guns again, and then they use the guns against him, That will be a bit disgusting for Li Xiaoluo, although ordinary guns and ammunition can no longer cause harm to Li Xiaoluo. In addition, if the friendliness level is too low, when the time comes to find meteorites for Li Xiaoluo, they may not bother to look for them, and may even hide the meteorites they find. So this time, although Li Xiaoluo doesn't have any big requirements for recruiting people, basically anyone of any age or gender can do it. But the friendliness must meet the standard. In addition, when Li Xiaoluo checked their information this time, in addition to checking their friendliness, he also wanted to see if they had supernatural talents. This time Li Xiaoluo not only wants to see if women have supernatural talents, he also wants to see all men. It's not that Li Xiaoluo has changed his policy. From now on, Tao Yuan leader plans to take in men with supernatural talents, but as the person who went to look for the meteorite this time, Li Xiaoluo couldn't let anyone with supernatural talents join him. Why? Very simple, because people with supernatural talents, if they are curious about why Li Xiaoluo is looking for meteorites, then they may discover the crystals in the meteorites, and they may even discover the function of the crystals. By then, if they know the function of crystals, they will definitely secretly use all the crystals they find. After using the crystal, they can just run away, and Li Xiaoluo will not be able to find them at all. Therefore, Li Xiaoluo must try his best to prevent this situation from happening. The most basic requirement is that among the people hired by Li Xiaoluo, no one with supernatural talents can appear. However, Li Xiaoluo did not expect that the first person he checked would have a supernatural talent. Moreover, he is also the leader of this team. Originally, Li Xiaoluo didn't bother to care about Wang Zhan before, but now, Li Xiaoluo decided to change the leader of this team. However, Li Xiaoluo did not take action immediately, but continued to check other people's information. Soon, Li Xiaoluo checked everyone's information, but no one with supernatural talents was found. However, in addition to Wang Zhan, we also found two people with very low friendship levels, and right next to Wang Zhan, he should be his confidant. Li Xiaoluo looked at everyone calmly and said, "Since all of you are planning to do things for me, then I don't care how you got along before, who held what position before. Now that you are here with me, you have to listen to me in everything, and you have to start everything over again. I will choose one person from you and appoint her as your new leader, and then let her manage all of you for me. In addition, I will also choose 5 people from you to be team leaders, responsible for leading the team to search for meteorites. Mr. Li, I will obey your arrangements and I have no objection at all. Mr. Li, I also listen to you. I will do whatever you ask me to do. Me too." After hearing Li Xiaoluo's words, naturally some people immediately expressed their loyalty. The reason why these people followed Wang Zhan in the past was that some of them were semi-forced, and some of them thought that they would feel safe because there were so many of them. But what happened today made them know that there is no future or security in following Wang Zhan. So now, there are actually quite a few people who have the same thoughts as Zhou Heitao. Many people no longer regard Wang Zhan as their leader and backbone. At this time, Wang Zhan's face naturally became even more ugly, because what he was most worried about finally came. He must be reluctant to give up the power in his hands. So, Wang Zhan secretly winked at his two confidants. The two people understood immediately. Mr. Li, there is actually no need to go to such trouble, right? Our team has had its own organizational structure and rules before, and we are all used to it, so I think it is better to keep it as it is. In this way, our efficiency will be higher and our ability to complete your mission better. That's right, Mr. Li. The managers previously elected by our team are actually the most capable people, so there is no need to replace them. Li Xiaoluo took a look and realized that the two people he was talking about were the two men whose friendship was not up to standard. Li Xiaoluo's face suddenly turned cold. It seems that what I just said is not clear enough. I said that I will not force anyone who is unwilling to do things for me, but if you want to do things for me, then you must obey my orders. Remember, it is an order. Do you think I am discussing with you now? Li Xiaoluo's aura immediately frightened the two people who just spoke. Li Xiaoluo has been in power for so long after the end of the world. Once he becomes serious, his aura is still very scary. Moreover, these people have witnessed with their own eyes the horrific scene of Alice killing someone next to Charlotte Li. They don't want to be chopped into charcoal by lightning if they disagree with that Western beauty. The two men who just spoke immediately turned to Wang Zhan for help. After all, they all stood up and spoke under the instruction of Wang Zhan. Of course, in fact, The reason why they stood up was not entirely because of Wang Zon's instructions, they also have their own interests, because they are all Wang Zon's confidants, and naturally they are also managers of the group, they naturally have a lot of power in their hands. And they often use their power to bully others, so if Wang Zon steps down, they will definitely lose their power. Those who have been bullied by them will have to bully them to death even more. The two of them felt that they had no way out, so they could only continue to stand on Wang Zon's side, and then cheer for Wang Zon. In fact, they also heard that Mr. Li seemed to have no intention of staying in their team, and then directly took over their team. Mr. Li just wants to find an agent to manage them. Then if they propose to keep it the same as before and use the previous managers, maybe Mr. Li will agree, but they didn't expect that Li Xiaoluo suddenly changed his face. Wang Zon didn't expect Li Xiaoluo's reaction to be so big, but he could only stand up and say, Mr. Li, don't be angry, the two of them are actually just giving you suggestions. After all, they are also for the stability of the team. Only when the team is stable can everyone work together. Let's work together to do things for you. Otherwise, we're afraid we won't be able to complete what you asked, Mr. Li. Li Xiaoluo smiled and looked at Wang Zon and the others. So, are you three threatening me? If I don't continue to use you, will you be able to prevent them from doing things for me even if I hire people from your team? Wang Zon and the two men were shocked. When did they threaten Li Xiaoluo? Don't talk nonsense. Chapter 334, All relatives come forward. Conscience of heaven and earth, Wang Zon and the others just want to retain their status and power, and they really have no intention of threatening Li Xiaoluo, because in the face of absolute power, they simply can't think of it. Wang Zon and the others simply cannot muster the courage to fight against extraordinary people like Li Xiaoluo and Alice, at least, definitely not for the time being, and from what Li Xiaoluo said before, he had no intention of staying and managing them directly. That's why Wang Zon and the others want to get management rights and continue to manage this team. But after Li Xiaoluo finished speaking, he did not give Wang Zon and the other three a chance to explain. Li Xiaoluo pointed at Wang Zon and the others, then looked at the others and said, can these three represent all of you? Does it mean that as long as I don't continue to reuse them, then you won't do things for me? If that's the case, then just pretend that I didn't say anything before, and I'll just find some other survivors to do the work for me. In this apocalypse, I dare not say that you can easily find anything else, but I think as long as there is food and medicine, there will still be no shortage of survivors who are willing to obey and work. Mr. Li, that's not the case. Wang Zon and the others can't represent us at all. That's right, Mr. Li, we will only obey your orders from now on. Wang Zon is a BCH. If he can't protect us, forget it. He still wants to be the boss. They want to take advantage of him. Suddenly, many people became angry, because with Li Xiaoluo, they have white rice to eat, and there are medicines that can save their lives. If Li Xiaoluo really doesn't want them anymore, then they will be heartbroken to death. In fact, many injured people may even lose their lives. Li Xiaoluo glanced at Wang Zon and the others, and then said calmly to everyone, if you want me to continue to employ and trust you, then kill the three of them. Li Xiaoluo's words made Wang Zon and the three of them feel frightened, and they immediately distanced themselves from Li Xiaoluo because they have seen how powerful Li Charlotte and Alice are. They are afraid that Li Charlotte or Alice will suddenly kill them. However, Wang Zon overthought, and Li Xiaoluo had no intention of taking action himself, otherwise Wang Zon and the three of them would have died long ago. Everything was resolved within their team, but after hearing that Li Xiaoluo asked them to kill Wang Zon and the three others, no one really dared to take the lead. First of all, it's because Wang Zon's prestige was still very strong before, and many people were very afraid of him. Secondly, it is because Wang Zon and his two henchmen are very powerful in combat. If anyone foolishly runs up alone, he might be killed. Don't you want to kill Wang Zon and the others? It seems that Wang Zon is right. He really has the final say on this team. It's okay. I won't force you. You can continue to follow this king, and I'll just find some survivors to do the work for me. After saying that, Li Xiaoluo greeted Alice and turned around to leave. Mr. Li, don't leave. We can kill Wang Zon and the others. Seeing that Li Xiaoluo was leaving, some people suddenly became anxious, especially those led by Zhou Heitao. After all, they had bet their money on Li Xiaoluo before, so they were very disrespectful to Wang Zon. Now if Li Xiaoluo really leaves, and then their team becomes controlled by Wang Zon again, then where will they have any good fruits to eat? So whether it's for their lives or for the precious materials in Li Xiaoluo's hands, they must stand up and kill Wang Zhan. Zhou Heitao loudly said to everyone, brothers and sisters, everyone has seen that when Wang Zhan and the others were in the mall before, they kept preventing us from coming out. Just now, Wang Zhan and his thugs didn't obey Mr. Li's rules. In the final analysis, Wang Zhan and the others just don't want to part with the power in their hands and want to continue to squeeze us. Wang Zhan and the others are just fooling around, they just want us dead. Because many people in our team are injured, and there are also some people who are sick. These injured and sick people are in urgent need of food and food medicines, but Wang Zhan and the others only care about the power in their hands and don't care about the lives of the injured and patients in our team. Now, because of Wang Zhan's selfishness, Mr. Li has been angered and Mr. Li no longer trusts us and no longer wants to hire us. Many of us may die by then. Do you agree? No. No, kill Wang Zhan and the others. They want to kill us. Brothers, if you have the guts, just follow me and kill Wang Zhan and the rest of them. Someone took the lead, and suddenly the group of people had the same hatred. Soon, Wang Zhan and the three of them were surrounded by a group of people. Wang Zhan originally wanted to use his previous majesty to scare some people, but many people who are timid and fearful at ordinary times are actually easily fooled when there are many people. As a result, Wang Zhan and the three of them were quickly overwhelmed by the crowd, except for some women. Almost all the men joined the siege against Wang Zhan. However, Ding Tingting, who had been followed by Li Xiaoluo before, did not take action. She even stayed among those women and never participated in them from beginning to end. Soon, it's all over. No matter how much Wang Zhan and the others resisted, they were still ordinary people after all. How could they be the opponents of dozens of red-eyed men? When the king died in battle, he was actually very unwilling, or rather unwilling to die in peace. In fact, in the end of the world, if a team is annexed by another team, ordinary members may still be fine, but as the leader of the annexed team, such as Wang Zhan, it will definitely not end well. After all, there is no room for two tigers in one mountain, and no one will keep an existence that threatens them. Originally, if it were Liu Zhao's group of lunatics today, Wang Zhan would not come out of the mall and surrender even if he tried to escape or died in battle. It's because he understands this truth. But when the target was changed to the mysterious Li Xiaoluo, Wang Zhan subconsciously did not think about it. He thought that a mysterious and powerful person like Li Xiaoluo would not regard an ordinary person like him as a threat. But now, Wang Zhan realized that he had thought wrong. Li Xiaoluo was just looking for an excuse to kill him. In fact, Wang Zhan didn't know that the reason why he died had nothing to do with whether he was the leader of the team. The reason why Wang Zhan died, mainly because he is so excellent. After all, who gave him the gift of supernatural powers? If it were still during the ice disaster or flood, even if Li Xiaoluo recruited people to do work, even if some of the men were gifted with supernatural powers, Li Xiaoluo would not take it seriously. Even Li Xiaoluo would not use his exploratory eyes to check whether the male survivor has any supernatural talents. This Wang Zhan can only be said to be quite unlucky. Since Wang Zhan and the other three are dead, Li Xiaoluo is naturally willing to continue using these people. Now, those of you who are related come forward. Chapter 335 The Incredible Ding Tingting. Mr. Li, do you want me to be the leader of this team? Ding Tingting looked at Li Xiaoluo in disbelief. She never thought that such words would suddenly come out of Li Xiaoluo's mouth. It turns out that just a minute ago, Li Xiaoluo asked all the relatives among them to stand up. Although everyone didn't know Li Xiaoluo's intentions, they were basically very cooperative, and people who were related to him immediately came forward. Although there are more than 50 people in this team, not many of them are related. There are 9 people in total. 2 of them are husband and wife, another pair is father and daughter, and the last one is Ding Tingting, her mother and sister. At that time, Li Xiaoluo just glanced at the 9 people who stood up, but he didn't say anything more. Then, Li Xiaoluo selected 5 people from all 50 people to be team leaders. This time, the reason why Li Xiaoluo asked him to personally appoint a team leader was because by then, every team leader Li Xiaoluo would give them a gun. So Li Xiaoluo naturally has to choose some loyal and reliable people. As for how to choose, loyalty. Naturally, the higher the friendliness, the more loyal it is, then there's reliability. With similar loyalty, if someone has relatives, it means they care about them, and they must be more reliable than those without relatives. Therefore, among the 5 team captains selected by Li Xiaoluo, the men from the 2 couples and the father from the father-daughter pair were all elected team captains. The 3 men themselves did not expect that Li Xiaoluo asked their relatives to come forward. This was the original intention, but in fact, they are relatively friendly. Otherwise, even if they have relatives, Xialuo would not let them be team leaders, and the three of them were naturally very happy to be appointed as team captains. Since ancient times, being an official has definitely been a joyful and good thing. The same is naturally true for Xialuo, because Xialuo has just told everyone about the rewards for doing things for him. This time when they work for Xialuo, there is actually no fixed salary, they only have commission. What's the meaning? In fact, the meaning is very simple. When the time comes, they go outside to look for meteorites for Xialuo, and every time they bring back a meteorite, golden egg, Xialuo will reward them with 100 points. At that time, they can take the points to Xialuo to exchange for what they want. Then, if a team has no casualties, the team leader will naturally get more points. In addition, Xialuo will equip all the squad leaders with guns. The reason why squad leaders are equipped with guns is naturally to enable them to deal with thugs and dangers they may encounter outside, and with guns, they can go out more boldly to look for meteorites. So after becoming a team leader, not only will you get more rewards, but you will also have a gun in your hand. Who wouldn't want to be this? But none of them expected that Xialuo's criteria for selecting team leaders was to give priority to whether they had any relatives. This makes many people envious, but also a little sad. Of course, this time Xialuo will choose a total of 5 team captains, and then for the last 2, he will choose the one with the highest friendliness among the remaining people. After the 5 team leaders have been selected, the last step is to find a team leader, that is, the leader. But what all the men didn't expect was that Xialuo directly chose Ding Tingting. This is also the reason why Ding Tingting herself was very surprised when she was mentioned above, because since Xialuo appeared, Ding Tingting has actually been acting very low-key. Even when Wang Zan was killed, Ding Tingting did not come to save her. In fact, Ding Tingting followed Wang Zan, which was semi-coercive. Moreover, Ding Tingting had made an agreement with Wang Zan a long time ago. She would only take action when the team was invaded by foreign enemies. If the people in the team were fighting for power, she would not intervene, because Ding Tingting really has no interest in power. She just wants to protect her family. The reason why Ding Tingting was surprised was because Xialuo had never seen her take action before. Logically speaking, he shouldn't have known that she was very good at fighting, right? So, why did she suddenly be chosen as the leader? If it was Xialuo who took a fancy to her beauty, that would be impossible, because Ding Tingting is self-aware. Her appearance is actually very average, and she usually dresses like a tomboy, compared with Alice next to Charlotte Lee. Well, there is no comparison at all, but Xialuo suddenly decided, and did not give Ding Tingting any chance to object. Finally, Xialuo also introduced in detail the remuneration they can get. In fact, after the meteorites they retrieved are converted into points, what can those points be exchanged for with Xialuo? For example, a pound of grain is 1 point, a box of anti-inflammatory drugs is 10 points, 1 meteorite can be exchanged for 100 points. Xialuo briefly explained the materials that could be exchanged, and everyone listened attentively, because in the eyes of this group of survivors, Xialuo could tell them clearly in advance, which was very useful to them. First, it can let them know clearly how much reward they can get after finding a meteorite. Secondly, the reward given by Xialuo is really very generous in their eyes. For example, if you find a meteorite and exchange it all for grain, you can exchange it for 100 kilograms of grain. Moreover, it is still food that has not been contaminated. Even if they were guarding a supermarket before, the food in the supermarket was basically contaminated and very unpalatable. If there are healthy, normal foods to eat, who would take the risk of eating spoiled foods? It can be said that if the survivors in the entire city knew that meteorites could be exchanged from contaminated food, even if 1 meteorite can only be exchanged for 1 pound of food, the survivors in the entire city will go crazy. After all, food nowadays is so precious. What's more, the reward Xialuo now gives is that 1 meteorite can be exchanged for 100 kilograms of grain. You can even get life-saving medicines. How could this not excite them? In fact, Xialuo also knew that he could increase the points exchanged for food. For example, increase it to 10 points to redeem a pound of grain. Calculated this way, after they find a meteorite, they can exchange it for 10 kilograms of grain. Xialuo believes that no one will have any objections. On the contrary, they will still be very happy to do it. But Xialuo felt that it was not necessary, because Xialuo did it on purpose. In fact, this is like the employees of the company before the end of the world, when you get a monthly salary of 3,000 yuan. If you don't want to do it, then don't do it. With a monthly salary of 5,000 yuan, you can fish if you can. With a monthly salary of 10,000 yuan, I am very motivated to go to work every day. When I earn a monthly salary of 30,000 yuan, the company becomes my home, no matter at any time. It is actually the same. Every time they find a meteorite, if Li Xiaoluo pays 1 caddy of grain or 10 caddies of grain, they will be willing to do it, but their motivation will definitely not be very high. Even when searching for meteorites, if they encounter danger, they will definitely drop the meteorite and run away. However, if Li Xiaoluo gives them a meteorite and 100 kilograms of grain as a reward, then every time they see a meteorite, it will be like seeing a lot of food. Is it food that can allow them to survive for a long time in this apocalypse? And will they give up easily by then? Even if they encounter danger, then they will be willing to take risks. And this is exactly what Li Xiaoluo wants, because if you spend some ordinary food, you can get more crystals, which is definitely a profitable business for Li Charlotte. Chapter 336. Ding Tingting's mother and sister disappeared. After Li Xiaoluo mobilized everyone's enthusiasm with generous rewards, then Li Xiaoluo shot Ding Tingting and the 5 team leaders, and also gave them walkie-talkies, cars and other tools. Li Xiaoluo will leave it to Ding Tingting to arrange the next actions. Ding Tingting needs to divide all the men into 5 teams, then send 4 teams out to search for meteorites, leaving 1 team to stay at the stronghold to garrison. Anyway, Li Xiaoluo didn't have time and was too lazy to take care of the specific arrangements. When the time comes, Li Xiaoluo just needs to see the results. Then while Ding Tingting arranged for the men to assign teams and decide which direction each team was responsible for searching, Li Xiaoluo and Alice took Ding Tingting's mother and sister into Wanjia shopping mall. Li Xiaoluo first built a small teleportation array in the mall, and then through the teleportation array, Li Xiaoluo took Ding Tingting's mother and sister back to the Taoyuan leader headquarters, ignoring the 2 confused people. Li Xiaoluo and Shen Miao said hello and asked her to settle down with Ding Tingting's mother and sister. Then, Li Xiaoluo teleported back to Wanjia Mall. The reason why Li Xiaoluo chose Ding Tingting as the person in charge was not only because she was more powerful, but also mainly because of her mother and sister, because as long as Li Xiaoluo controls her mother and sister, then she will definitely complete the tasks assigned by Li Xiaoluo, and we won't collude with others to play any tricks. In addition, the reason why Li Xiaoluo dared to set up the teleportation array directly in this shopping mall was because he was not afraid of being discovered by the people in the shopping mall. That's because there are actually requirements when using the teleportation array built by the system. The most important point is that Li Xiaoluo's authorization is required before other outsiders can use the teleportation array alone. Otherwise, not only cannot it be used, but it cannot even be destroyed. After the matter was completed, Li Xiaoluo didn't waste any time and took Alice out of the mall again. Li Xiaoluo and Alice had just walked out of the mall, and Ding Tingting was leading some people into the mall. Mr. Li, where are my mother and sister? Ding Tingting saw Li Xiaoluo taking her mother and sister into the mall, but now she didn't see her mother and sister coming out with Li Xiaoluo, so Ding Tingting subconsciously asked. However, Ding Tingting never thought about the harm her mother and sister would suffer, because Li Xiaoluo seemed to have no reason to do so. However, Ding Tingting was still a little curious. Why did Li Xiaoluo bring her mother and sister into the mall? Li Xiaoluo stopped and looked at Ding Tingting. Your mother and sister are safe, but they have gone to a place far away. You must complete the task I gave you, and I will reunite you when the time comes. By the way, if you want to know their situation, you can contact them using the special walkie-talkie I gave you. After saying that, Li Xiaoluo ignored Ding Tingting, who was in a daze, then took Alice into their car, started it and drove away. Seeing Li Xiaoluo leave immediately after a disagreement, Ding Tingting was still a little confused. What did Mr. Li mean just now? Mother and sister have gone to a faraway place. When did you go? Mr. Li took her mother and sister into the mall just now. It may have only been about 10 minutes now, right? Where could Mr. Li take her mother and sister? What nonsense is Mr. Li talking about? Ding Tingting, who was a little confused, rushed into the mall, and then she shouted for her mother and sister. Unfortunately, no one responded to her. Ding Tingting was really panicked now. Ding Tingting quickly took out the special walkie-talkie Li Xiaoluo gave her, then tuned to the channel Li Xiaoluo told her, and pressed the call button. The voices on the other side were not those of her mother and sister, but a nice female voice. But the other party seemed to know who Ding Tingting was looking for, so she asked Ding Tingting to wait. Tingting, your sister and I are safe now, you don't have to worry. Soon. Ding Ting Ting heard her mother's voice. Mom, where are you and your sister? How did you leave Wanjia Mall? Ding Ting Ting quickly asked with concern. Ting Ting, I don't know what to say, Ling. Ting Ting's mother hesitated for a while before speaking. Ding Ting Ting immediately lowered her voice and said, Mom, there are people around you, so is it inconvenient, Ling? Ting Ting thought her mother was being monitored when she was talking on the phone, so it was inconvenient to say something. This made Ding Ting Ting even more worried, wondering if her mother and sister would be in danger, but then Ding Ting Ting thought about it. Mr. Lee had gone to such great lengths to capture her relatives as hostages. Didn't he just want her to do a good job for him? So before this mission is completed, my mother and sister should not be in danger, right? I only have your sister by my side, so it's not inconvenient. It's just that I don't know how to explain what happened just now. Well, your sister said she came to tell you. Sister, I am Shishi. Let me tell you, it was magical just now. The big brother just recited a spell, and then he took my mother and me to a strange place. Ding Ting Ting's sister is called Ding Shishi. She is only 10 years old this year. Ding Shishi and Ding Ting Ting have somewhat different calm personalities. Ding Shishi has been very lively since she was a child, even in this doomsday, because she is better protected by Ding Ting Ting. Her sister Ding Shishi's character has not changed much. As soon as they came up, Ding Shishi excitedly started to talk about what they had just experienced, and even added some fuel and jealousy, because when Li Xialuo took them to teleport, he didn't recite any spell at all. This paragraph was completely added by Ding Shishi himself. Sister, we are safe now. We are in a villa area now. It's great here. Every villa here is very big, and there is running water and electricity. We just received new clothes and were told to take a hot bath. They said that every woman who comes here needs to wash yourself clean and pay attention to hygiene in the future, and everyone here is a woman. The sister in charge is very beautiful and very nice. It is said that children's words are unbridled, and Ding Ting Ting can hear it. Her sister is really excited at this moment, but there should be no danger on their side. Not only is there no danger, but on the contrary, their place is a very good place. It doesn't even look like a place in the end of the world, but like a paradise in a dream. Who is Mr. Lee? Chapter 337 Base Number 2. After leaving Base Number 1, Hank City, Charlotte Lee and Alice continued to drive on the road, rushing to the next city he was going to today. Let me mention here that Base Number 1, Hank City, is the name Li Xialuo gave to Ding Ting Ting and their base. In the future, within Taoyuan territory, Li Xialuo will directly call Ding Ting Ting's place Number 1 base. If it is to the outside world, you can call her Hank City base. The reason why it is called Base Number 1 is because it is simple and easy to remember. Moreover, Li Xialuo will build teleportation arrays and bases in several cities in the future. The latter ones will be called Base Number 2 and Base Number 3. That'll be fine. It was already 4 o'clock in the afternoon when we left Base Number 1. Although Li Xialuo tried his best not to waste time at Base Number 1, it actually took about an hour at Base Number 1, but Li Xialuo didn't pay too much attention, because there was still enough time. He only had to operate according to the model of Base Number 1 in the following cities. More than an hour later, Li Xialuo and Alice successfully arrived at Lin City, the second city in his plan. This time, Li Xialuo was lucky. As soon as he entered Lin City, he found a group of hundreds of survivors in an industrial park. However, the internal harmony of this survivor team is not as harmonious as that of Ding Ting Ting's team. The core members of this group of survivors are all members of society. Their boss is called Brother Bao. Before the end of the world, Brother Bao ran the city's largest bar, KTV, leisure club and other entertainment venues, and had hundreds of thugs under his command. The end is coming, and after experiencing several disasters, although many of Brother Bao's thugs have died, there are still about 50 people left. In addition, they also kept more than 100 women for them to play with, and 70 or 80 male captives, who were specially used to do hard work and go out to look for food and other supplies. In other words, this team has a total of about 250 people. After the apocalypse, this kind of team is actually relatively large now, because in the post-apocalypse, even if some thug teams can capture many survivors, the average thug team will not support too many people because there is no food to waste. After Li Xialuo checked the team situation clearly through the drone, the next thing was very simple. The Thunder Queen Alice takes action first, killing Brother Bao and all his henchmen in a few rounds. Then, Li Xialuo took action. Li Xialuo first took out some of the food that Brother Bao had collected. and gave all the men and women enslaved by Brother Bao a feast. As for the remaining food, Li Xiaoluo naturally put it all into the system warehouse. In fact, Li Xiaoluo doesn't like these foods at all. If it were normal, he might just leave them all to these people, but now, Li Xiaoluo still wants these people to work for him. If he gives them all the food for free, then how can they have the motivation to use food as payment for them to search for meteorites? Free things, no one will cherish them. The reason why Li Xiaoluo gave them a free meal was naturally a routine operation, because this way he could truly check their friendliness. After everyone who was still alive had eaten and drank enough, Li Xiaoluo announced the establishment of base number 2, Lin City, here, and then proposed his recruitment plan to everyone. As long as you go out to look for meteorites, you can exchange them for points, which can also be exchanged for food and medicine. These people are usually oppressed and do the most tiring and dangerous jobs. And their lives are worse than those of dogs. Facing the rules of Li Xiaoluo, the new ruler, everyone was naturally overjoyed and agreed. In fact, Li Xiaoluo really has no intention of ruling them. Li Xiaoluo and them are more like hiring or cooperating now. In fact, whether it is Ding Ting Ting's team or the current team, if Li Xiaoluo wants to rule them or enslave them, it is very simple. It's just a matter of Li Xiaoluo's words, and basically no one will resist. But Li Xiaoluo has no such idea at all, at least for the time being. Li Xiaoluo doesn't want to do this at all. Why? Because Li Xiaoluo looks down on people like them and doesn't want to be a burden. This is actually the same reason why many Western developed countries do not want to accept refugees before the end of the world, compared with the survivors in the apocalypse. The people of Taoyuan are actually living the life of a developed country. It's enough for Li Xiaoluo to support the people he has in Taoyuan. He doesn't need more people. This is also the reason why it becomes increasingly difficult for women to join the Taoyuan collar in the future, not to mention these survivors outside, after everyone had eaten. Li Xiaoluo used his exploratory eyes to check their personal information. Among the remaining people in this team, there is no one who is not friendly enough. After all, Brother Bao and his close men were all killed, and those who survived were those who had been bullied miserably. They were still very grateful to Li Xiaoluo in their hearts. But among these survivors, Li Xiaoluo discovered another person with supernatural talents, but this time the person with supernatural talents is not a man, but a woman named Yang Zhu. Yang Zhu, friendliness level 69, potential value 80, special ability, water power, to be awakened, although the water power is not a special power, and there are already water power users in Li Xiaoluo's Taoyuan territory, but for women with supernatural talents, as long as they are friendly enough, the more Li Charlotte is, the better. As long as he finds one, Li Xiaoluo will let them become the people of his Taoyuan leader. Li Xiaoluo is such a passionate person. After checking everyone's situation, Li Xiaoluo began to select a few team leaders and persons in charge among these people. The process is the same as at base number 1. First check to see if any of them are related, and those who are related will be selected first. If there are not many people with relatives, then choose from the most friendly people. This time, the leader Li Xiaoluo found for base number 2, Lin City. The person in charge of the base was named Xialuo. He was a middle-aged man in his 40s. The reason why Li Xiaoluo chose Xialuo was not because of how good he was in fighting, but because he had a wife, and he loved his wife very much. When Li Xiaoluo discovered this group of people through a drone, Xialuo was being beaten by several thugs because of his wife. It's not that the thugs wanted to take advantage of his wife. In fact, Xialuo's wife was older, so the thugs didn't have much interest in her. However, Xialuo's wife is sick and has a severe stomachache. Xialuo wants to ask for some medicine for his wife, so he can do whatever he wants, but those thugs didn't care about the life and death of a middle-aged woman, so not only did they not administer the drug, they also directly wanted to beat Xialuo to death, and Li Xiaoluo's sudden appearance really saved Xialuo's life, so Xialuo has the highest degree of friendship with Li Xiaoluo. In addition, Xialuo and his wife have such a good relationship. Li Xiaoluo simply chose Xialuo to be the person in charge of the second base. After all, only those who care can be better controlled. Then, Li Xiaoluo established a teleportation array at base number 2. And then teleported the talented Yang Zhu and Xialuo's wife back to the Taoyuan leader headquarters. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelists. There you'll find the original version of this story, and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 338 Western Food in the Doomsday. After Li Xiaoluo drove away from Base 2, he drove to the next city. Li Xiaoluo's third target city is Guan City, which is a bit far away from Li Xiaoluo now, about 200 kilometers away. Li Xiaoluo's plan is that as long as he can get to Guanxi tonight. As for establishing base number 3 in Guan City and recruiting people to search for meteorites, then we can only wait until tomorrow morning. After all, there are no lights in the city at night after the apocalypse. Even if Li Xiaoluo can find survivors at night, those survivors will not be able to go out and do things for him. So in the evening, Charlotte Li might as well do something she loves with Alice. Anyway, there is still one day left for Li Xiaoluo to operate tomorrow, because he was driving at night, and the distance between the two cities was relatively long this time. Li Xiaoluo wasted a lot of time this time. He drove for more than 3 hours before finally arriving at the target city. At night, the whole city was pitch black without any lights, but the sound of Li Xiaoluo driving into the city surprised many survivors along the way. Perhaps no one would have thought that there would still be cars on the road today. Alice, let's just spend the night in the car tonight. After Li Xiaoluo turned off the car, he said to Alice next to the co-pilot. Alice's dark blue eyes smiled brightly. Dear, I have no problem at all. This car is very spacious and has a bedroom, which is actually very good. Besides, I am very happy and joyful with you by my side. How can I just give in? Li Xiaoluo smiled. This foreign girl is so direct, she doesn't know how to be subtle at all, but Alice is actually right. This huge off-road vehicle produced by the system is not only bulletproof and does not consume fuel, but the facilities inside the vehicle are also very good. Although it is not as luxurious as a pre-apocalyptic luxury car, the interior space is very large, with basically a bedroom, kitchen, and bathroom, which is very convenient for living in the wild. Li Xiaoluo turned on the lights in the car, and then took out the ready-made dinner directly from the system space. Because the person following him this time was Alice, Charlotte Li deliberately brought out Western food. Although Li Xiaoluo is not good at chasing women, he has basically won the women he has now in a very direct way, but Li Xiaoluo still has this romantic element. Sure enough, I saw exquisite Western food placed on the dining table, as well as a bottle of expensive red wine before the end of the world. Alice's face showed a hint of surprise, just like a Chinese who lives abroad and eats hamburgers every day, and suddenly sees mapo tofu and fried pork with chili. He will definitely be very excited. Honey, you are so kind. Alice glanced at Li Xiaoluo lovingly and took the initiative to offer a sweet kiss. Li Xiaoluo said that she is used to Alice taking advantage of her at every turn. Let her take advantage first, and you can charge interest later. Cheers, Charlotte. Li and Alice raised their glasses, then they clinked their glasses and took a sip of red wine. Alice took a bite of foie gras and was immediately surprised. It tasted very delicious and familiar. Honey, where do these foods come from? They taste very authentic. No wonder Alice is too curious. In this kind of apocalypse, the survivors eat contaminated or spoiled food. Being able to eat uncontaminated food, even the most ordinary bread or rice, will be regarded as a treasure by the survivors outside. But Li Xiaoluo not only can produce precious delicacies here, but even the taste is the same as before the doomsday. In fact, before Alice and the others had awakened their powers, all the women thought that Li Charlotte was very mysterious, like a god with all kinds of superpowers. For example, Li Xiaoluo can suddenly produce various materials, or Li Xiaoluo himself can suddenly disappear. All the superpowers make Li Xiaoluo seem mysterious and unpredictable. But since Alice and the others have also awakened their powers, they, the supernatural beings, have also gained superpowers, so they are not so surprised by Li Charlotte's mystery. In fact, many mysterious things will seem less mysterious once the veil is lifted. But despite this, Li Charlotte still often surprises Alice and the others. For example, Li Xiaoluo knew that there were crystals in those meteorites. For another example, Li Xiaoluo also seems to have superpowers, but his abilities seem to be even more magical than the superpowers, and he also has a lot of superpowers. It's like now, Li Xiaoluo can serve Western food that tastes the same as before the doomsday. These Western foods were all made by high-end Western restaurants before the apocalypse. The taste is naturally authentic. Li Xiaoluo introduced while eating steak. Now that the end has arrived, there is nothing Li Xiaoluo cannot say about these things. Dear, did you know before the end that disaster would come? Alice said in surprise. Li Xiaoluo nodded. Of course he knew. If he hadn't known in advance that the end of the world was coming, how could Xialuo have such a comfortable life now? After Alice knew the answer, she didn't ask too many questions. With such a good atmosphere, she didn't want to ask such boring questions. Moreover, the past things have passed, and now even if she knows that Xialuo can know the end of the world in advance, she has no way to meet him in advance. Right, the lights flickered. After drinking a few glasses of red wine, Alice's face became more and more rosy, and her figure was so plump and attractive. Xialuo also drank a few drinks and felt that his whole body was now full of heat. Alice noticed Charlotte's gaze and immediately smiled. "My dear, I'm full. Let me serve you something to eat." After speaking, Alice stood up directly and sat in Xialuo's arms without waiting for Xialuo's answer. Then Alice picked up a piece of food and slowly fed it to Charlotte's mouth. Xialuo opened his mouth to eat the food next to his mouth. Because his hands were freed, Xialuo could only put his hands on Alice's plump figure. "Alice, you have such a good figure." Charlotte sighed. This is really not Xialuo's intention to praise Liz, but Xialuo's innermost thoughts. Among Charlotte's women, Alice's figure is definitely at the top, and since she awakened her powers, she seems to have grown a little more. Xialuo was a little out of control. "My dear, as long as you like it, it will always belong to you." Alice's face was red and her voice was soft and waxy, as if she had no strength. "Honey, you still want to eat? Forget it. Let's eat something else first." Chapter 339. Dear, good morning. The next day, just as the genius dawned, Xialuo woke up from the ringing of the bell. Then, Xialuo felt the softness and majesty on his body. Alice was lying on Xialuo's body. It can be said that the two of them were still in close contact. "Good morning, darling." After waking up, Alice sat up, her face radiant, and she didn't seem tired at all. "You must know that last night, Xialuo's car kept shaking until midnight and there was no movement." With Xialuo's strong body, he was thinking about whether he would drink some wolfberry water tomorrow. Unexpectedly, after such a night, Alice would still be in high spirits. Sure enough, with the physique of a Western woman and the fact that her body was transformed when she awakened her powers, Alice's recovery ability is getting stronger and stronger. "Morning. After we finish this city in the morning, we will go to the last city. Then there will be no need to be in such a hurry and live in the wild." I think it's quite exciting to be in the wild," Alice said with eyes brightening. Xialuo actually agreed with Alice's statement, but he felt that this sentence should be spoken by himself. Why did Alice steal the line? He and Alice had a simple breakfast. After finishing breakfast, Charlotte started the car. While having breakfast just now, Xialuo had already discovered a team of survivors nearby through a drone. Moreover, Xialuo found that team quite interesting, because the team seemed to be all women, and it was a real women's team. This kind of team composed entirely of women is still relatively rare in the post-apocalyptic world, because in terms of combat effectiveness and physical strength, women are definitely inherently weaker than men, and they are also much less courageous than men. Even Xialuo's Taoyuan collar, although basically all are women, the Taoyuan collar was established by Xialuo, a man. Moreover, the main reason why Taoyuan leader can develop and grow in the hands of a group of women and always have a safe environment without being invaded is that Xialuo provided a large number of guns and ammunition to the female soldiers and gave them courage. Even if there are enemies they can't defeat, they still have the Lord Xialuo backing them up. Therefore, with a gun and a backstage, women in Taoyuan can always work with peace of mind and have nothing to fear. But if it is an outside team of survivors, if they are all composed of women and do not have guns in their hands, it will indeed be very difficult to survive in this apocalypse. At this time, in an apartment building a few hundred meters away from Xialuo, this apartment building with more than 20 floors was very famous in the neighborhood during the flood period, because this apartment building is not only the base of a team, but also a team composed entirely of women. The name of this women's team is also very simple. It's called Sisters. The reason why the sister group is famous is naturally because there are so many people who want to join this group. Not only women want to join them, but men also want to join them, because any man who has heard of the name of the sister group knows that there are so many beauties in the sister group. It is simply a paradise for men, comparable to the heaven and earth before the end of the world. It is said that the leader of the sister group is the famous beautiful CEO of the city before the end of the world, and several of their deputy leaders are either the campus beauties of the university or the charming royal sisters. After the apocalypse, although for some men, Women may not be what they need most urgently, but they also heard that the sister group also has a lot of food. After joining the sister group, they basically won't worry about starving to death. In this way, even men who really have no interest in women now want to join the sister group. Unfortunately, the sister group has already announced that they welcome all women to join the sister group, but as for a man, unless he becomes a eunuch, he can also join the sister group. Some men refused to give up and tried to sneak in by disguising themselves as women. In the end, they actually became eunuchs and were even kicked out. There are also some thug teams who want to use violence to attack the sister groups. In the eyes of those thug teams, they are just a group of women, and they should be kept in captivity like the female slaves in their team, and then used for them to vent every day. But the strength of the sister group is really not as weak as those thugs thought. Not only do they have weapons in their hands, but they also have some very powerful women in addition. The building they were guarding was relatively easy to defend and difficult to attack, so there were several powerful gangs trying to conquer the sisters, but in the end they all suffered heavy losses at the hands of the sisters. Later, there was no more thug team to attack the sister group station. It's not that those thugs gave up on the fat meat of the sister group, but that they decided to find another way to deal with those stinky bee in the sister group. It would be very unpleasant indeed if we stormed the sister group's headquarters. So, they planned to kill the women in the sisterhood, because the women in the sister group got a lot of weapons and food from nowhere, but their food inventory is definitely not much. Since they can't attack the sister group station, they will wait outside for them to run out of food before they run out of the building. As long as those women don't have the geographical advantage, they don't believe they can't deal with them. Moreover, in order to speed up the food crisis of the sister group, some thug teams even deliberately rushed all the useless women in their team to the door of the sister group station. As a result, the sister group's population has increased significantly, and the food they need has also increased significantly. At this time, inside the sister group station, in a conference room converted from a bedroom on the third floor, 4 or 5 women were sitting at a round table with serious faces. Having a meeting, a woman wearing camouflage short sleeves and a heroic face spoke first. Her name was Wang Ying, and she was the female captain in charge of the guard team of their sisters. Sister Jing, although we have hung a sign outside the building announcing that our sister group will no longer accept new members, but now, there are still more than a dozen women gathered outside our building. They have been surrounding us and refused to leave, and they even scolded us for refusing to save us. When Wang Ying said this, her face was full of depression. If a man was making trouble outside their camp, she would kill him with a bow and arrow. Most of the women in their sister group have actually been hurt by men in the apocalypse, so they all hate men very much, and then want to help those miserable women who live in the apocalypse. In the past, they basically accepted all the female survivors who came to seek refuge, but now, they are really powerless, because the current food in their group can't last long. Chapter 340 The Dilemma of the Sisterhood. Wang Ying's words made the atmosphere in the entire conference room even more depressing. The purpose of their sisterhood is to help all women who are oppressed in the apocalypse. Now they are unable to accept new people due to food problems, and they are actually feeling very uncomfortable. But aside from anything else, their sister group has helped many women before, and this time they also sincerely explained the reasons to those women who came to seek refuge. But those women blocked the door and scolded them for several days, scolded them for being cold-blooded, and scolded them for not saving their lives. No one will feel better. At this time, a beautiful woman sitting in the main seat spoke. Don't worry about the women outside for now, just let them make trouble and scold them as much as they want, just ignore them. Our most important thing now is to solve the difficulties within the group, because only in this way can we be qualified to talk about future matters. The beautiful woman who spoke is called Bai Jing, the leader of the sister group. Before the end of her life, she was the beautiful president of a well-known listed company in the city. She was the best by few with a net worth of hundreds of millions. In fact, there are not many men pursuing Bai Jing before the end of the world, because she is too beautiful and outstanding, and not many men have the courage and qualifications to pursue her. But the men who have the courage to pursue Bai Jing are basically young men with prominent backgrounds, and they are all very difficult people. Even sometimes, some young men will use some dirty tricks. Bai Jing was almost kidnapped once. It is said that the person who sent people to kidnap her was a dandy. He just had a grudge because Bai Jing rejected her confession in public, so he planned to kidnap Bai Jing directly. Then there will be a meal, and then hundreds of photos will be taken. He doesn't believe that Bai Jing is not obedient for the sake of face. In fact, Bai Jing was grateful to that playboy. If it hadn't been for his crazy behavior, Bai Jing would not have upgraded her security force again. She spent a high price to hire many retired female special forces soldiers and equipped them with the most top-notch and legal weapons and equipment. This is also after the apocalypse. Bai Jing was able to avoid being bullied by thugs, and even established a sister group to help hundreds of miserable women. Before the apocalypse, Bai Jing was a cold and beautiful CEO who refused to accept men, and after the end of the world, as the sisters took in more and more women, and after knowing the experiences that each of those women suffered, Bai Jing became completely disgusted with men. So even if it is known that men are stronger than women, it will help improve the strength of their team. But Bai Jing also stipulates that the sister group will not accept any man. Bai Jing paused, then looked at the woman on her left. She was a charming beauty, in her 30s or 40s, but the years did not seem to leave any traces on her face, but made her more full of energy. The style of a mature woman, especially the plump figure, is far beyond what a little girl can compare to. It is very charming. Just one glance can make men have a strong desire to conquer. Before the end of the world, Bai Jing walked with her on the street, and every time the men who peeked at her were definitely no less than Bai Jing. And, Yoon, how much food do we have in our group now? How many days can we last? Su Yoon, the logistics director of the sister group, Bai Jing calls her Aunt Yoon. Before the end, Su Yoon was the financial director of Bai Jing Company, and she was someone Bai Jing relied on and trusted very much, because Su Yoon not only has outstanding abilities, but is also an old classmate of Bai Jing's father. So with this relationship, Bai Jing naturally has great trust in Su Yoon, and Su Yoon was actually lucky. When the apocalypse came, she happened to stay with Bai Jing, and relying on Bai Jing's protection, Su Yoon, a beautiful woman, was not harmed in the apocalypse. Su Yoon obviously knew the logistics of the sister group very well. She spoke almost immediately without any hesitation. 5 days, the food in our group can last us up to 5 days. Jingjing, the situation in our group is very bad. There are 108 people in our group now, and there are 30 new women who have joined our group in the past few days. And there are many elderly women, or she is a woman who is tortured by men and cannot work. When I say persist for 5 days, I still mean to reduce the food standards for logistics staff as we said yesterday. After hearing this, Bai Jing's delicate and beautiful face became even more worried. Even if some people in the team save some food, they still only have enough food to last for 5 days, and now, they have no way to get new food. So what will they do in 5 days? As for why they can't get new food, it's not that Bai Jing and the others don't want to go out to look for food, but they are constantly being monitored outside their station. If their people dare to go outside, they will definitely be besieged immediately. Not only will the food not be found by then, but the female soldiers who went out may never come back. After all, the most powerful women in the sister group are actually the few female bodyguards around Bai Jing. Although there are many other women, they are basically no match for the men outside. Bai Jing and the others have been able to survive safely until now mainly by using station defense. If they are allowed to leave the station, how can a group of women be the opponent of a group of hungry wolves? However, Su Yoon has another bad news. After I announced yesterday that I would reduce the daily meal allowance for logistics personnel, the old members of our logistics department have no objections. They are very supportive of giving priority to food to female soldiers, but those new women who joined us have very strong opinions and say that we bully them as newcomers. Bah, do they still have opinions? Wang Ying, who spoke before, had a bad temper and slammed the table. There. New women who join us are either older or injured and unable to work. They will not be of any help to us after joining us. They will only become a burden to us without us. They can only starve to death outside. Exclamation mark. Now we don't dislike them. They are nice. They eat and drink our food for free. But we have a problem. It turns out that since the sister group was besieged, Bai Jing and Su Yoon thought of a temporary solution. First, reducing the food benefits of the logistics staff, but the salary of the female soldiers who are responsible for guarding the security of the station must not be reduced. After all, if the female soldiers don't even have enough to eat, how can they resist the enemy if they attack? Although Bai Jing and Su Yoon's method cannot directly solve their crisis, it can at least buy them more time. But Bai Jing didn't expect that the newly joined women would be so ignorant of the overall situation. And now they are still fussing over everything. Bai Jing now has some doubts about whether she was right or wrong in saving them. We want to see Captain Bai Jing. Why do you bully us old people? Why do we have half as much food as those female soldiers? This moment, there was a sudden noise outside Bai Jing's conference room. Chapter 341. A group of women who rely on their old age to sell their old age. Bai Jing and others came outside from the conference room, and then saw a group of middle-aged women in their 40s and 50s, as well as several women with scars on their bodies, all standing at the door filled with indignation. After seeing Bai Jing come out, the women's eyes lit up, as if they had found a backbone, and they immediately surrounded her. Captain Bai Jing, you have to make the decision for us. Suyun, the logistics director, is bullying us. She must have embezzled our food. Now the food for us is half less. That's right, Captain Bai Jing. You have to punish Suyun severely. She is so inhumane. We are either old or injured. How unconscionable is she? We're all short on food. The beautiful woman Suyun was listening to these women's unpleasant words and was almost furious to death. Everyone, please be quiet. Bai Jing looked serious and shouted loudly. Bai Jing's prestige was still there, and immediately, the women who protested became quiet. Bai Jing looked at the women and said calmly, everyone, reduce the daily food quota for the logistics staff. Minister Suyun is just following my instructions. I am the one who issued this order, because there is a food crisis in our regiment, not only the logistics personnel, but also the food of all non-combatants, including myself. I hope everyone can understand the difficulties in the regiment, and we can work together to overcome it. Get over this difficulty. However, Bai Jing's words did not resonate with those women. A middle-aged woman with golden waves said, Captain Bai Jing, when you took us in before, you said very nicely that you would not let us go hungry anymore and that everyone would be treated equally. But how long have we been here now? Are you going to treat us differently? It sounds nice, but you will also have the food? But do you think any of us will believe it? Which corrupt official doesn't say that he is poor and honest? Some say that they can't even afford a car, and they often ride bicycles to work. Some even say that they live a simple life every day, but privately none of them live a life of spending money like water. Instigated by the wavy woman, many women immediately protested again. That is, why do you want to endure hardships with us? Your leaders will act like it and say nice things. Yes, we don't care anyway. We are all part of this group, and we have contributed to the group. Why should we starve? And you made an agreement when we joined. We all share the joys and sorrows, and no one has anything to do with it. There are no distinctions between high and low. Why should we go hungry every day now? That is, I think our team must be truly democratic, and we cannot let some young people have the final say, and they still have the final say. Looking at the group of women he had instigated, the wavy woman felt very proud. The wavy woman's name is Wang Yixiang. She was actually specially arranged by a nearby gang to join a sister group, and her mission is naturally to be an undercover agent. For example, find out the food reserves of the sister group, and then use up the food of the sister group as much as possible to force them to leave the station. In fact, after most women join a sister group, their lives will definitely be better than those in the gang of thugs. At least in the sister group, there are very few casual beatings or killings. It stands to reason that even a woman sent as an undercover agent by a gang of thugs might have rebelled long ago and just choose to join a sister group. But this Wang Yixiang definitely can't really want to join a sister group. Because her son is still a hostage in that gang of thugs, she can only obey and wreak havoc among the sisters. This is actually the reason why when Xialuo recruits people who have relatives will usually be entrusted with important tasks, because such people are very easy to control, and in Wang Yixiang's view, even if the sister group can persist for a while, they will still have to go out and face the thugs outside, and they are doomed to fail. Therefore, Wang Yixiang is not optimistic about the sister group at all. Looking at the group of women who kept shouting, Bai Jing had a headache. If we just talk about quarrels and shamelessness, the fighting ability of these middle-aged ants is absolutely unmatched, but they may have forgotten how miserable they were when they came to the sister group. If the sister group hadn't taken them in, they would have died by now. Moreover, when they were caught by those gangs of thugs before, they had to be as obedient as possible. Now the sister group pays attention to their leadership. It seems that they have returned to the moment when they were guiding the country before the end. Bai Jing also knew that there was something wrong with the rules originally formulated by their sister group. In their sister group, everyone worked together and ate together. Although some people were managers did not have any privileges. They had the same food and accommodation, because Bai Jing and the others had taken in some injured women before, and their lives were very miserable. So Bai Jing didn't want everyone to be divided into superiors and subordinates, and there would be no more internal class conflicts. What Bai Jing wants is for everyone to work together and fight against men together so that they can have a place to stay in this apocalyptic world. In fact, at the time of the flood, everything was going well in the sister group, and the group was also very harmonious. But as the number of people in the group increased, and now there was a food crisis, many conflicts suddenly broke out. In fact, women like Wang Yixiang still have objections to female soldiers eating more. Many female soldiers from sister groups still have opinions about them. After all, the food for the sister group was basically brought back by the female soldiers who first joined. Moreover, the dangerous work of guarding and defending against the enemy is done by female soldiers at the risk of their lives. As for the newcomers like Wang Yixiang who joined later, they basically have nothing to do every day, and they receive the same food and drink as them. But sometimes, Wang Yixiang and the others often complained about this and that, which made the female soldiers very irritable and affected everyone's morale. Bai Jing has actually wanted to change the rules for a long time, but because of this crisis, Bai Jing has not taken any action. She wants to wait until the crisis is over and everyone can survive. But now, it is obvious that things must change, and Bai Jing doesn't want to waste time on these things anymore. Bai Jing said with a cold face, "Don't say any more. I declare that from today on, everyone will no longer eat from the big pot and receive the same treatment. In the future, the more you work, the more you will get. Whoever does more things and whoever does dangerous work will get better treatment and more food. If anyone has an opinion and is unwilling to abide by the rules, then she can leave the sister group. Our sister group will never force anyone." Chapter 342 Fire. I don't accept it, Captain Bai Jing. Why do you make such a decision privately? Our sister group has agreed that everyone is equal, and we have agreed that we will not distinguish between each other. Our sister group belongs to everyone, not just you as a human being. You can't have the final say on everything. Bai Jing's sudden announcement naturally made the ants who came to protest very unhappy and very scared, because they are older. No matter what job they do, they will definitely not be able to compare with those trained female soldiers, or even those women who are younger than them. So Bai Jing now plans to determine everyone's salary based on their work ability, so they will naturally stop working. Do you still know how to respect the old and love the young? These young people nowadays are too unqualified, but now Bai Jing just wants to cut a knot quickly. Bai Jing has no time to talk nonsense with them. The real enemies of the sister group now are the thugs outside. Bai Jing looked at the dissatisfied women coldly and said with a strong attitude, "You are really right. I established the sister group. I naturally have the power to change the rules. If anyone is unwilling to abide by it, then leave me." Got it, Wang Ying. Call some female soldiers over. If anyone still wants to cause trouble, then drive them out of the station. Yes, leader. Wang Ying immediately stood up and responded. She was one of Bai Jing's personal bodyguards before the end, so she has always firmly supported Bai Jing's orders, and she has long been unhappy with these old women. When they were asked to work every day, they would say that their old arms and legs were too weak for their bodies, but when they quarreled, each of them became lively again. "Oh, Captain Bai Jing, we were just joking. We just have to abide by the rules from now on." Seeing that Bai Jing seemed to be serious this time, Wang Yixiang gave in at first. The other women naturally lost their voices. Since everyone is willing to abide by the rules, let's all go down and work hard from now on. Otherwise, if anyone behind you has no food to eat, don't blame others. Bai Jing waved to Wang Yixiang and the others and asked them to go down. She was already very upset, and now she didn't want to see them anymore, but Bai Jing didn't see the evil look in Wang Yixiang's eyes when she left. Originally, Wang Yixiang wanted to stay in this sister group for a few more days. After all, there was food and drink here, and they could often be lazy and rely on their old age, so their life was quite comfortable. But now that Bai Jing has changed the rules, Wang Yixiang and the others will have a difficult time in the future. Since that Bai Jing won't let her have an easy time, then she, Wang Yixiang, won't let them have an easy time either. Not long after, Bai Jing and the others were discussing how to break through the blockade of the thug team so that they could send some people out to look for food. Suddenly a woman ran in panicked. "Captain, it's bad. The warehouse where we store food upstairs is on fire." What? Several women in the conference room were shocked, and Bai Jing stood up immediately. "Is the fire big now? Have you asked anyone to put out the fire?" "Captain, when our escort sisters arrived, the fire was already relatively large. It may be more difficult to put it out now. We'd better leave this building quickly. The places where Bai Jing and the others usually stay and do activities are on the 3rd and 4th floors, and their warehouse is on the 5th and 6th floors. Otherwise, it might be difficult for them to leave alive now. How could this happen? How could there be a sudden fire in our warehouse? And the fire was so big all at once? What are the people responsible for managing the warehouse doing? Su Yun looked at the thick smoke rising upstairs, and her face suddenly showed great worry, because this fire will not only burn their food, but even the stronghold where they live may not be saved. At that time, so many women in their sister group will have no choice but to leave this stronghold and go on adventures outside. Then no one can predict their future fate and what will happen next. It's a pity that no matter how angry and unwilling Bai Jing and Su Yun are, they can only leave here quickly, because in front of the burning fire, sometimes human beings are very small and powerless at all. Notify all members of the regiment to bring weapons and evacuate immediately. Seeing that the fire upstairs was getting bigger and bigger, and the heat could be felt on the 3rd floor, Bai Jing could only give orders to all the women gathered on the 3rd floor. Then, Bai Jing and the others gathered the team members on the 2nd floor, and then they retreated all the way to the 1st floor at the gate on the 1st floor. They also have some female soldiers standing guard, but they no longer have to guard this place in the future, because their stronghold may soon be reduced to ashes. When Bai Jing and the others walked outside the building, they looked upstairs and could already see the raging fire upstairs. At this time, many women in the sister group looked serious or frightened, especially those women who have been bullied and oppressed by men in the last days. Now that they have lost this shelter, their hearts are full of fear, and they seem to have no sense of security. However, I am afraid that something will happen. Just when the girls are still feeling sad, Wang Ying suddenly shouted loudly, "All female soldiers, prepare for battle, an enemy is coming." As Wang Ying finished speaking, a group of men with weapons suddenly appeared from all around, surrounding the women of the sister group. Wang Ying took a cursory look and found that there were nearly 200 men surrounding them, almost twice as many as them. Moreover, they are all tall men, and their overall fighting ability is definitely much stronger than the women in their sister group. And what about their sister group? Although there are indeed 108 members in the sister regiment, there are only about 60 female soldiers who can actually fight, and without the advantage of being stationed, the combat effectiveness of most of them is worrying. Haha, Bai Jing, UBCH, you didn't expect that you would end up like this, right? And retribution will come so quickly, right? At this time, among the group of men surrounding Bai Jing and the others, 2 men came to the front, and then one of them, a middle-aged man about 40 years old, looked at Bai Jing and laughed first. Next to the middle-aged man, there was a young man in his 20s. He also looked at Bai Jing with fiery eyes. Haha, President Bai, I have said before that one day I will let you under my crotch. Moaning. You used to look down upon me, but are you still arrogant now? It turns out that the more than 200 thugs who surrounded Bai Jing were not in the same group. They are actually 2 groups, but they work together to win over the sister group. The middle-aged man's name was Luo Yaoming, and the young man's name was Su Jinsong. They were both prominent figures in the city before the end, and for different reasons, they all had thoughts about Bai Jing, the most beautiful woman in the city, before the end. It's a pity that Bai Jing didn't care about them at all in the past, which made them always worried. Bai Jing looked at Luo Yaoming and Su Jinsong, who looked proud, and then said coldly, "My stronghold was burned. I, Bai Jing, have indeed lost, and I will be homeless in the future. But I, Bai Jing, only have a person can only be with one man, so if any of you wants to get me, then you must decide the winner among yourself first." Chapter 343 Li Xiaoluo makes a brilliant appearance. Haha, Bai Jing, you are so childish in sowing discord. Do you think we are idiots? The middle-aged man named Luo Yaoming looked at Bai Jing with disdain, although he and Su Jinsong did have a fight. After all, apart from the sister group, the only big survivor team here was the 2 of them. It is said that there is no room for 2 tigers in one mountain, and if they want to obtain more food, population, and weapons, friction between them is definitely inevitable. The main reason why the 2 of them can unite now is that they now have a common goal to deal with. After Luo Yaoming finished mocking Bai Jing, he did not forget to shout loudly to Su Jinsong beside him, "Brother Su, I just feel sorry for this BCH Bai Jing, so if you are interested in her, then you let me play with her once, and then she will be yours from now on. Now that she is a woman, you can humiliate and torture her however you want." Su Jinsong glanced at Luo Yaoming and said with a smile, Brother Luo, are you really willing to give me the long-term use rights of Beijing, Luo? Yao Ming smiled. Brother Su, judging from what you said, we are in alliance now, why wouldn't I want to? And since you call me brother, what's wrong with me suffering a little loss? But if you feel bad, brother, just let me choose some of the remaining women from the sister group when the time comes. Su Jinsong knew that Luo Yaoming was an old fox, but now that he listened to his words, it turned out to be true. Su Jinsong said directly, Brother Luo, you don't have to do this. You also know that before the end of the world, I pursued that stinky BCH Beijing. In fact, it was more because my family needed me to marry her, but myself, I actually prefer older, mature and beautiful women. For example, Su Yun under Beijing, although she is a little older, she still has her charm. Every time I saw her before, I wanted to deal with her from behind, so you really don't need to suffer a loss, Brother Luo. It's better for me to suffer a little. Brother Luo, just follow what you just said, just give me Beijing to play with once from now on. Beijing will belong to you, Brother Luo. I will suffer a little loss, as long as I can give priority to the other women in the sister group. At this time, the women in the sister group naturally heard the dirty words of Luo Yaoming and Su Jinsong. They have simply been treated as meat on the chopping board, and they are not taken seriously at all. Captain, let's fight with those beasts. If we kill one of them, we can earn enough money. If we kill a pair, we can make a profit. That's right, it would be worse to die in the hands of those beasts anyway. Even if we die, we still have to support a few people. There are no cowards in our sister group, let's fight with them. As I said before, most women in the sister group have been hurt by men, so they fear and hate men at this time. Many women are determined to die. Beijing and the senior leaders of the sister group have actually made up their minds. If they can die in battle, it may be a relief for them. In other words, it's the best result. However, I am afraid that those men will not let them die easily. But at this moment, a woman suddenly ran out from the sister group, and ran directly towards the thugs on the opposite side. This made many women in the sister group stunned. Has the leader ordered the war? Why didn't they hear it? As for Luo Yaoming and Su Jinsong, they were also startled by the woman who suddenly rushed over. What kind of situation is it that these women still dare to take the initiative? But they just sent a woman to charge, and she's an old woman. Although I can't understand it a bit, it's okay. Just kill this useless old woman. Under the orders of Luo Yaoming and Su Jinsong, many thugs cruelly raised their machetes, preparing to hack this crazy woman to death. After Wang Yixiang ran out of the sister group, she immediately shouted, Captain Luo Yaoming, I am yours. It was you who sent me to be an undercover agent in the sister group, and I was the one who started the fire in the sister group this time. I'm up, so don't kill me, Wang. Yixiang's loud shouting immediately stunned the people on both sides. After being yelled at by Wang Yixiang, Luo Yaoming remembered that this old woman seemed to be an undercover agent sent by him. It's just that after this kind of apocalypse, undercover agents are basically out of reach after being sent out. Moreover, Wang Yixiang was just something Luo Yaoming did casually. He himself almost forgot that there was such a woman, but he didn't expect that a useless woman he sent out at random could have such a big effect. This old woman was so cruel that she burned down the sister group station, and Wang Yixiang's shouting also surprised all the women in the sister group, so the fire was not an accident, but someone set the fire deliberately. It turns out that woman Wang Yixiang is actually an undercover agent sent by the enemy. At this moment, even the woman who had been relatively close to Wang Yixiang before and even had trouble with Wang Yixiang had her face filled with disbelief, although they are always lazy and complaining in the sister group. And sometimes they even rely on their elders to cause trouble, but in their hearts, they never thought of betraying the sisterhood, because they know very well that if they leave the sister group and go to another team, they will not have such a comfortable life in the sister group, in those gangs of thugs. Old guys like them may just do the dirty work, or they may be used as food reserves, but now, someone actually betrayed them all and wanted to kill them all. At this moment, their eyes when they looked at Wang Yixiang were full of resentment, and Wang Yixiang's betrayal was actually a heavy psychological blow to Beijing and the other senior members of the sister group. At this moment, they realized that they had been too kind before and believed too much in women in the apocalypse. They think that all women in the apocalypse are a force they can unite with, because there is no soil for betrayal among women in the apocalypse. They don't want to be bullied by men or starved to death, so the sisterhood is their only destination. But Beijing and the others now realize that they thought everything was too wonderful. The human heart is indeed the most unpredictable. Haha. Bai Jing. And all the women in the sister group, listen to me. As long as you throw away the weapons in your hands and surrender, I will give you a way to survive. Look at this Wang Yixiang, she is your role model. The morale of the sister group was low, but Luo Yaoming did not forget to continue to add insult to injury. Luo Yaoming wants to use Wang Yixiang's incident to completely defeat the resistance of all women. Wang Ying, give me a knife and we will fight with him. If there are any sisters who are willing to fight with me, please join us. Of course, if someone wants to escape, they can take advantage of the chaos and escape by themselves, but whether they can survive depends on everyone's luck and ability. Bai Jing issued an order to all the women in the sister group. This may also be her last order. Bai Jing's disregard for death still gave many women in the sister group a renewed fighting spirit, although they clearly know the consequences of doing so, because they can't defeat those thugs at all. However, just when Bai Jing and the others were getting ready for battle, the war was about to break out. Suddenly, a domineering and huge off-road vehicle suddenly appeared in front of everyone. Li Xialuo makes a shining debut. Chapter 344. Everyone, excuse me. In fact, when Wang Yixiang secretly set fire to the sisters' warehouse, Li Xialuo was already monitoring the situation of the sisters. Even at that time, Li Xialuo was able to stop Wang Yixiang from setting fire to the building. However, Li Xialuo did not stop it, because Li Xialuo has no obligation to help them. Moreover, Li Xialuo's purpose is to conquer the women in the sister group to do things for him. Therefore, the more depressed and desperate the women in the sister group are, the more beneficial it is to Li Xialuo. But when the women in the sister group really wanted to go all out, Li Xialuo drove an off-road vehicle and planned to appear as the savior. The sudden appearance of Li Xialuo's off-road vehicle really stunned both parties at the tense scene, because no one thought that when the war was about to break out, a car would suddenly drive over. Moreover, he still broke into the middle of the two parties. Brother, they are at war. What do you mean by suddenly barging in? Is it to attract fire? No. How could there be such a brand new and intact car in this kind of apocalypse? In short, everyone has various thoughts about this car that suddenly appeared. Brother, in the car, I wonder which road you are on? We are busy with something here. I wonder if you can move somewhere. Luo Yaoming shouted loudly towards Li Xiaoluo's off-road vehicle. He has always been a cautious person, and the sudden appearance of the vehicle was so abnormal. Moreover, the car didn't seem to be afraid of such a large battle, so he was very afraid. But the guy next to Luo Yaoming, Su Jinsong, was originally a young man and was relatively young and impulsive. After the apocalypse, Su Jinsong does whatever he wants. Anything he likes, he will grab it directly. Let the brothers block the entrances and exits with stuff. This off-road vehicle must be mine. Yes, boss, I will notify the brothers to do it immediately. Before the end, cars and women were Su Jinsong's two major hobbies, but since the end of the world, Su Jinsong has not even touched the steering wheel. Especially after the flood, it was basically impossible to find a good car. Now that such a top-quality car suddenly appeared, how could Su Jinsong let it go? Luo Yaoming did not stop Su Jinsong's little move. He didn't know the depth of the car yet, so he didn't dare to act rashly, but Su Jinsong wanted his people to test the situation, so Luo Yaoming naturally had no objection, although they are considered allies in dealing with the sister group. But when it comes to doing other things, they have nothing to do with each other. However, before Su Jinsong's men could make any move, the window of Li Xiaoluo's off-road vehicle suddenly opened. Everyone, please excuse me, I want to hire a team to do things for me. Which of you is willing? Li Xiaoluo got straight to the point without any nonsense. In fact, when Li Xiaoluo came here, he took a fancy to Bai Jing, a member of the sister group. Women's teams in the apocalypse are still very rare, and Li Xiaoluo feels more at ease when using them. However, although Li Xiaoluo fell in love with a woman in the sister group, he did not say it directly. FK, where did this madness come from? You drove a car and pretended to be a big-tailed wolf for me. Su Jinsong laughed angrily at Li Xiaoluo. He had never seen anyone more arrogant than him. Then, Su Jinsong waved to a strong man next to him. Meng Fei, bring a team of people up and teach this idiot how to behave for me. The strong man responded, I know, boss, just keep an eye on it. Then, the strong man led a dozen men, each holding a steel pipe and a machete, and walked menacingly towards Li Xiaoluo's off-road vehicle. Seeing a group of men approaching menacingly, Alice in the back seat was about to take action, but Li Charlotte stopped Alice. There were too many thugs here. and it would be troublesome to kill them all, and there are no superpowers among these people, so there is no need to use superpowers to deal with these little Karami right away. So, Li Xiaoluo directly took out 2 automatic rifles from the system space, and then handed a gun to Alice. Don't waste the energy of your powers, let's play with guns this time. Alice smiled slightly, took the gun handed over by Li Xiaoluo, and then picked up the rifle skillfully. Naturally, she also knows how to play with guns, so when the strong man and a group of people were approaching Li's car, he was about to make a pretentious speech. Suddenly, 2 black guns stuck out of the car window. Da. Da 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 da. Da. Da 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 da. As if they had a tacit understanding, Li Xiaoluo and Alice opened fire almost at the same time. Dense bullets were fired at the crowd like raindrops. Those thugs never expected to encounter such a situation. How could they have imagined that the owner of this car not only had a gun, but also had such fierce firepower? Soon, a pile of corpses lay on the ground. After shooting the thugs who came to seek death, Li Xiaoluo asked Alice to close the car window temporarily. Li Xiaoluo naturally knew that these people also had guns, although their guns should have been found in places like the police station. They were just a few short-range pistols, but it's not a gun. But Li Xiaoluo's car is bulletproof. As long as he closes the windows, even if the enemy has a gun, it will be useless, and Li Xiaoluo's car also has a shooting port, so he can continue to shoot people outside. Sure enough, just after Li Xiaoluo and Alice closed the car windows, several people from Su Jinsong's side took out their pistols and shot at Li Xiaoluo's vehicle. However, sparks flew and Li Xiaoluo's car was unscathed. The power and accuracy of pistols are inherently limited. When the distance is relatively far, even if Li Xiaoluo does not close the car window, they may not be able to hit. Li Xiaoluo stretched out his rifle from the shooting port in the car and continued to shoot at Su Jinsong and his group indiscriminately. Li Xiaoluo's rifle had a much longer range, and the group of people had no cover, so they could only be mercilessly slaughtered. At this time, Luo Yaming and his men were the most confused because the people who had evil intentions towards Li Xiaoluo and then took the initiative to provoke Li Xiaoluo were all Su Jinsong's people. Luo Yaming and his men originally wanted to watch the show first, but they were watching Su Jinsong and Li Xiaoluo biting dogs. But why did he suddenly open fire after a disagreement, and also fight them together? He was really unjust. Brothers, in the car, don't shoot yet. It's not us who are causing trouble for you. We have no ill intentions towards you. Luo Yaming and his men hurriedly shouted to Li Xiaoluo while finding cover to avoid bullets. However, Charlotte Li and Alice did not stop shooting until all the bullets in a magazine were exhausted. Then, the whole world seemed to be quiet. In the end, it was Li Xiaoluo who took out a loudspeaker and broke the silence first. Li Xiaoluo said to the crowd hiding in the distance, "Now, is there any team willing to work for me? Don't worry, I don't like to kill people, and I am very kind in my work. As long as they work for me, I will provide them with food, weapons, medicine." If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelists. There you'll find the original version of this story, and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 345. Don't swear casually after the apocalypse, otherwise you will be struck by lightning. Li Xiaoluo's words made the frightened people around him look speechless. Just because you disagreed, you shot someone, and you shot them indiscriminately. Are you embarrassed to say that you don't like fighting and killing? It's so shameless. But Li Xiaoluo's firepower is too powerful, and Li Xiaoluo's car is bulletproof. There is nothing they can do against Li Xiaoluo. Therefore, everything Li Xiaoluo says is right. Moreover, what Li Xiaoluo said really aroused their interest. Luo Yaming hid behind a corpse and said loudly to Li Xiaoluo in the car, "Brother, are you telling the truth? As long as we do things for you, will you provide us with food, medicine, and weapons? If we want guns, will you also provide us with the kind of guns you are using now?" Apart from food and medicine, if Li Xiaoluo can provide them with guns and ammunition, then Luo Yaming will naturally be willing to work for Li Xiaoluo. Moreover, what Li Xiaoluo said before was employment, so they were working for Li Xiaoluo, not Li Xiaoluo's subordinates, so he was even more willing. Li Xiaoluo replied, "Of course, as long as you do things for me. In addition to the more commonly used pistols, you can also provide the automatic rifle I am using now." Luo Yaming quickly said loudly, "Brother, then I am willing to take my men to accept your employment." Bang! Suddenly, There was a gunshot. Li Xiaoluo changed a magazine and fired another shot in the direction of Luo Yaoming. The sound of the gunshot startled Luo Yaoming, and he quickly said, "Brother, if you have something to say, please tell me. I am really willing to do things for you." Now, Luo Yaoming didn't dare to call Li Xiaoluo brother, but called him eldest brother. Li Xiaoluo said coldly, "You wanted to deal with me just now. Now that you see that I am stronger than you, you want to do things for me? But how can there be such a good thing in this world? You have to pay a price for doing wrong things. Are you willing? Work for me, but I don't want you now." Luo Yaoming quickly explained, "Brother, the guy who wanted to deal with you just now is named Su Jinsong, and all those who did it were his men. He and I are not on the same team, and it really has nothing to do with me. In fact, I'm the same as you, big brother. I never like to fight and kill. I always like to reason with people." Luo Yaoming said that anyway, it was Li Xiaoluo who was shameless first, so naturally he can be shameless too. "Haha, you were standing together just now, and you seemed to be dealing with those women together. Now you are saying that you are not on the same group. Brother, we are really not in the same group. If I lie to you, I will be struck by lightning." Hearing Luo Yaoming's words, Li Xiaoluo almost gave him a thunderbolt. It's also a good way to let him know that after the end of the world, he can't swear casually. However, Li Xiaoluo did not take action and just said calmly, "We are all men. There is no need to swear or anything like that. Okay, since you said you are not with those who want to deal with me, then I will give you a chance. As long as you kill or arrest all the people who wanted to harm me just now, I will give you another chance." An opportunity to get involved. Luo Yaoming suddenly felt embarrassed and said, "Brother." Bang! Li Xiaoluo shot another shot in Luo Yaoming's direction. "Don't talk nonsense to me. If you want me to confirm that you and your people are indeed innocent, then prove it with your actions. I only give you 3 seconds to think about it. If you haven't made a choice when the time is up, then don't blame me." 3 After Li Xiaoluo finished speaking, he started counting, not giving Luo Yaoming any chance to speak. Luo Yaoming's face was gloomy. He didn't expect Li Xiaoluo to be so domineering. Su Jinsong, who was hiding aside, looked very ugly when he saw Luo Yaoming's hesitation, because Luo Yaoming is obviously considering what Li Xiaoluo said and wants to take action against him. When Luo Yaoming was anxious to clear things up with him just now, Su Jinsong was actually not too angry, because he knew very well what kind of person Luo Yaoming was, and he and Luo Yaoming were not on the same group in the first place. But if Luo Yaoming really listened to Li Xiaoluo and came to deal with him now, then Su Jinsong would feel uncomfortable, because the shooting that Li Xiaoluo and Alice did just now basically killed Su Jinsong's men. And they were also the most powerful core members of Su Jinsong's men. So now that Luo Yaoming really wants to deal with him, Su Jinsong's people are really no match for him. "Brother Luo, you don't really believe the lies of that guy in the car, do you? Don't tell me whether he has a lot of food, medicine, guns and ammunition. Even if he does, do you think he will really give it to you?" "Brother Luo, let's join forces to do this. As long as we block the intersection, his car won't be able to leave. Then we'll surround him just like we surrounded the sisters before, and wait until the food in his car is gone naturally. He will get out of that bulletproof vehicle by then. If we add up to over 100 people, we will kill him." When Luo Yaoming heard Su Jinsong's persuasion, he felt that it made sense, and he immediately became even more hesitant. 2-1 However, Li Xiaoluo didn't give Luo Yaoming time to think about it, and said the last number. Li Xiaoluo is ready to shoot again. "Brother, don't shoot. I listen to you and I will do what you tell me." At the last moment, Luo Yaoming suddenly shouted to Li Xiaoluo. Actually, in Luo Yaoming's heart, what Su Jinsong said makes sense. However, he still chose to listen to Li Xiaoluo, because in Luo Yaoming's opinion, let's not talk about whether Li Xiaoluo has the things he promised. But now it is indeed Li Xiaoluo who has the advantage, and he does not want to face the hail of bullets that Li Xiaoluo did before again. In addition, what if what Li Xiaoluo said is true and there are really generous rewards for working for him? Finally, and actually the most important point, as long as the sister group is destroyed by them, he and Su Jinsong will definitely become enemies from now on. Su Jinsong will be his biggest enemy in this area. Now Su Jinsong happens to have become a sick cat, so why not take the opportunity to completely eliminate this powerful opponent? Brothers, Su Jinsong is looking for death. They provoked powerful enemies, but they killed several of our brothers. Now kill them and avenge our dead brothers. Following Luo Yaoming's order, Luo Yaoming's men immediately rushed towards Su Jinsong's men desperately. Between facing Li Xiaoluo's rain of bullets and dealing with Su Jinsong, Luo Yaoming's men actually wanted to choose to kill Su Jinsong's idiots just like Luo Yaoming. After all, persimmons must be picked soft. A few minutes later, although Su Jinsong's people wanted to resist desperately at first, Luo Yaoming's people were more numerous and more powerful than them, and there was also Li Xiaoluo, the murderer, watching them. Su Jinsong's people were already low in morale, but some of them died in battle and surrendered. Soon, Su Jinsong was completely defeated, and even Su Jinsong was arrested. Chapter 346. The women in the sister group took the bait. Charlotte Lee and Alice watched a big play leisurely in the car. Of course, the women from the sister group were also watching the play during this period. Bai Jing and others from the sister group originally thought that they would either die today or be captured by Su Jinsong and those thugs and become slaves. They are actually mentally prepared, because Bai Jing and others also know that they are definitely not the opponents of Su Jinsong and Luo Yaoming's alliance. But I never expected that things would suddenly take a turn for the worse. Li Xiaoluo's sudden appearance directly turned them into supporting roles temporarily. Instead, Luo Yaoming and Su Jinsong started killing each other. At this time, Bai Jing and the others felt really happy, because Luo Yaoming and Su Jinsong have actually been planning to form a sister group for a long time, and even caused the sister group to lose a lot of manpower, and today, the sister group was almost wiped out, for such enemies. Bai Jing and all the women in the sister group are naturally very happy to see them being punished. It's a pity that Li Xiaoluo's previous shooting caused heavy losses to Su Jinsong's men, so he is no match for Luo Yaoming. If the two sides are still equally powerful, then both sides will really lose when they fight. Then Bai Jing and the others will really be happy to death. But now, Luo Yaoming has won absolute victory, and if Luo Yaoming gets guns from Li Xiaoluo again, their fate will be very tragic in the future. No, they still have a chance. Su Yun, who was beside Bai Jing, whispered to Bai Jing, Jing, we must find a way to let Mr. Li hire us. Because only in this way can our sister group not be annexed by Luo Yaoming. The sisters in our group, only then can we survive. Hearing Su Yun's words, a trace of sadness appeared on Bai Jing's delicate face. She naturally knew that what Su Yun said was right. The only person Luo Yaoming can be afraid of now is naturally Li Xiaoluo in the car. If Li Xiaoluo can hire them, then Luo Yaoming will definitely not dare to deal with them again. As for whether they are willing to work for Li Xiaoluo, although the women in their sister group all hate or hate men, Li Xiaoluo has not hurt them, and it can even be said that he has saved them. So if just accepting Li Xiaoluo's employment can keep all of them alive, then Bai Jing will naturally be willing, and even the women in the entire sister group will definitely be willing. After all, they are just hiring, not making them Li's slaves. But, and Yun, isn't Luo Yaoming already working for that Mr. Li? And our team is made up of women. Mr. Li won't hire us anymore, right? Bai Jing never thought that she would have a day when she was not confident. The reason why Bai Jing is not confident is because Li Xiaoluo seems to have already negotiated terms with Luo Yaoming. In addition, it's because their team is all women. After all, after the apocalypse, it is not the factories of the apocalypse that recruit people. The factories before the apocalypse generally give priority to recruiting women, and some factories even directly restrict the recruitment of only women. But in the post-apocalypse, when it comes to work, men are much more popular than women. However, Su Yun did not want to give up. She said with firm eyes, Jing, no matter what, we must not give up. There was no chance before, but now this is an opportunity for so many women in our group to survive. We must fight for it, even if we have to pay some price. Bai Jing looked at Su Yun and said in surprise, Aunt Yun, what do you want? Su Yun smiled and said, I've been here before, so it's no big deal. And it's better to be possessed by a man you don't hate than to be ruined by those disgusting men. Even then, you may still be RD by a group of people. A stinky man insults, and if my contribution really saves you all from suffering, I think it's very worthwhile. I'm afraid that by then, people will think that I'm old and one, and they won't be interested in me at all. At the end of the sentence, Su Yun sighed deliberately, as if she was very unsure, but Bai Jing didn't answer. She actually understood that Aunt Yun said that on purpose. Although Su Yun is a little older, her charm is definitely still there. Before the end, many men said that although they all wanted to marry Bai Jing as their wife, Su Yun could arouse their desire to conquer more. While Bai Jing and the others were talking, after Luo Yaoming won the victory, he immediately shouted to Li Xiaoluo, Mr. Li, I have followed your instructions and killed Su Jinsong and his men who wanted to do harm to you. I also captured a lot of people alive. Do you think you need to deal with them personally to vent your anger? Bring the leader named Su Jinsong here. Don't bring too many people here. Li Xiaoluo replied to Luo Yaoming. Then Li Xiaoluo asked Alice to stay in the car, and he opened the door and got out of the car alone. However, Li Xiaoluo asked Luo Yaoming to go over, but Luo Yaoming hesitated because he was a little afraid to approach Li Xiaoluo. After all, Luo Yaoming didn't know if Li Xiaoluo would attack him. Luo Yaoming always likes insurance when doing things. He never puts himself in danger. On the other hand, Su Yun from the sister group suddenly walked towards Li Xiaoluo's car. Su Yun also raised her hands high, indicating that she was not threatening or carrying any weapons. At the same time, Su Yun also said loudly, "Mr. Li, I am from the sister group. My name is Su Yun. Our sister group also wants to accept your employment. Can you give us a chance to express our sincerity to you, Li?" Xiaoluo glanced at Su Yun. This woman was like a ripe peach, very charming and plump in figure. Although she seems a bit older, her face shows no signs of aging. She is still very beautiful, and she has an extra charm that young women don't have. Of course, Li Xiaoluo doesn't have time to spend on women now, but Li Xiaoluo still nodded and said, "Okay, you can come over too." After all, Li Xiaoluo's first target is actually the women in the sister group, but Li Xiaoluo also knows that the women's team after the apocalypse must have stories, and they may even hate men very much. That's why Li Xiaoluo didn't go to the sister group directly, but wanted them to take the initiative to deliver it to her door. However, if the women in the sister group really would rather die than follow a man, then Li Xiaoluo will not force them, let alone ask them to do things for him. If they want to die, just let them die. After the apocalypse, there will never be a shortage of survivors who want to live. This is also the reason why Li Xiaoluo did not kill Luo Yaoming. If the women in the sister group are not upright, then Li Xiaoluo can only do the next best thing and use coercion and inducement to get Luo Yaoming's people to do things for him. As for Luo Yaoming, after seeing that the women in the sister group also wanted to join Li Xiaoluo, Luo Yaoming immediately ignored the danger, and immediately asked one of his men to escort Su Jinsong, and hurriedly walked towards Li Xiaoluo. Chapter 347. What? Do you have any objections? Mr. Li, what do you think of dealing with this Su Jinsong? Also, Mr. Li, just leave it to me if you have anything to do. My brothers are definitely more reliable than a group of women. Luo Yaoming and his men escorted Su Jinsong to Li Xiaoluo, and then looked at Li Xiaoluo with a flattering look. But when Luo Yaoming was talking, his eyes first stayed on Su Yun's mature and plump figure for a few seconds, and then looked at the off-road vehicle next to Li Xiaoluo, with a trace of greed in his eyes. He wants them all, but Luo Yaoming naturally knew that there was a woman on the off-road vehicle, and she must be aiming a gun at them now. Therefore, Luo Yaoming did not dare to act rashly, or even show any abnormality. Kill Su Jinsong because I don't need disobedient people or any prisoners. Li Xiaoluo glanced at Su Jinsong first, and then spoke calmly. Luo Yaoming glanced at Li Xiaoluo with twinkling eyes. He didn't know if Li Xiaoluo's words were meant to point him down. However, Luo Yaoming still gave his men a wink, and Luo Yaoming's men took out a dagger from his waist. Haha, Luo Yaoming, you are just a kid. You will definitely not end well. I am waiting for you below. Su Jinsong knew that it was useless to beg for mercy, so instead he looked at Luo Yaoming's arrogant laughter. In addition, his words are actually sowing discord. Humph, he was about to die, and he was so stubborn that he wiped his neck for me and let him bleed slowly and die in pain. Luo Yaoming ordered his subordinates with a gloomy face. Apparently Su Jinsong's words made him very unhappy. People sometimes tend to be superstitious and are very sensitive to certain coincidences or unpleasant words. Luo Yaoming's men followed his instructions and slit Su Jinsong's neck with a knife. Su Jinsong covered his neck and fell in a pool of blood in pain. Li Xiaoluo didn't feel anything about such a scene, and he didn't waste any more time and said directly, "Two of you, let's talk about business now. You each represent a team, but I don't need too many people to do things for me. So among you, only people from one team will be hired by me. Now, you can talk about the advantages of your respective teams and give me the reasons for choosing your team." Before Su Yun could speak, Luo Yaoming said with an ugly face, "Mr. Li, what do you mean? Didn't we agree before? As long as I deal with Su Jinsong and those people for you, you will hire me." Stop. Li Xiaoluo interrupted Luo Yaoming directly without giving him any face. Then Li Xiaoluo said coldly, Luo Yaoming, you have to understand that I asked you to deal with Su Jinsong before, just to give you a chance to prove that you are not on the same side with him, and to prove that you do not want to deal with me with that Su Jinsong. Listen clearly, that is just to prove your innocence, so that you don't have to die like Su Jinsong. I did not promise that after you take care of Su Jinsong, I will hire you directly. Suddenly, Luo Yaoming's face turned ugly, but Su Yun on the side had a smile as bright as a flower and looked even more beautiful. Because of Li Xiaoluo's attitude, she realized more and more that their sister group still had a chance. Okay, don't waste time, tell me the reasons why I hire your team. Of course, if anyone has any objections, they can leave now. Luo Yaoming adjusted his mentality, quickly put on a smile and said, I'm sorry, Mr. Li, I didn't understand what you meant just now. But I believe that Mr. Li, you are definitely right in choosing my team, because of my team, there are now a total of more than 80 brave and capable soldiers. They are all very strong men, and many of them were even bodyguards before the Doomsday. They have also experienced various experiences after the Doomsday fighting. Now they are all experienced and brave. We can definitely complete any mission of yours, Mr. Li. After Luo Yaoming finished speaking, he looked at Su Yun with disdain. Su Yun gritted her teeth. She actually knew that their sister group was all women, which was their biggest shortcoming. Mr. Li, our sister group is actually very powerful. Many of our women were not only professional bodyguards and retired female soldiers before the apocalypse, but our people will also undergo military training after the apocalypse. Luo Yaoming said that their people are very powerful, but every time they tried to attack us before, they were repulsed by us. In the end, he teamed up with Su Jinsong's people to deal with us women. So we really have to talk about strength. Although they are all men, the women in our sister group are definitely no worse than them. Luo Yaoming was angered by Su Yun's words, and he said angrily, Su Yun, you are farting. Before, you only dared to hide in your stronghold and be a coward. How come your strength is not worse than ours? Su Yun ignored Luo Yaoming's anger and continued, Mr. Li, in addition, our sister group is all women, so we will be more obedient and not as ambitious as their men. Luo Yaoming said disdainfully, Su Yun, according to what you said, there are many women in my team. If Mr. Li wants to find some women to work with, then I will directly give all the women in my team to Mr. Li. That's it. Su Yun was also angered by Luo Yaoming's shamelessness, but for the lives of Bai Jing and all the women in the sister group, Su Yun directly risked her life. Su Yun looked at Li Xiaoluo with charming eyes and said, Mr. Li, as long as you can hire us and protect the women in our sister group from Luo Yaoming, I will give you anything. Mr. Li, although I had a husband before the apocalypse, he died many years ago, and I have never found another man even after the apocalypse. I have not been bullied by another man, so I am still clean. Li Xiaoluo looked at Su Yun with a smile in his eyes. Okay, it seems that the sister group you are in is more satisfactory to me, so I will hire you. Li Xiaoluo originally planned to use the women in the sister group, but now that Su Yun is so sincere, Li Xiaoluo naturally agreed directly. Su Yun was stunned for a moment. She didn't expect Li Xiaoluo to agree so directly. However, Luo Yaoming on the side was very depressed at this time. Standing there with a gloomy expression, he felt that he had been tricked by Li Xiaoluo. Maybe from the beginning to the end, Li Xiaoluo just let him and Su Jinsong's people kill each other, and then had no intention of using them. Luo Yaoming's voice suddenly became cold. Mr. Li, my people and I really want to do things for you, and we have listened to your words and done so many things. Are you burning bridges by doing this? In fact, Luo Yaoming wanted to cooperate with Li Xiaoluo. In addition to being a little afraid of Li Xiaoluo's powerful firepower, he was also really attracted by Li Xiaoluo's conditions. After all, Li Xiaoluo said he could provide them with rifles. What? Do you have any objections? Li Xiaoluo still had a smile on his face and glanced at Luo Yaoming casually. You forced me to do it, so just go to hell. Li Xiaoluo's attitude completely made Luo Yaoming give up his illusions. Then he yelled, suddenly took out a pistol from behind and pulled the trigger directly at Li Xiaoluo. Chapter 348 The Invulnerable Li Xiaoluo. Be careful, don't. Luo Yaoming suddenly went berserk and shot directly to kill Li Xiaoluo. Li Xiaoluo didn't seem to have reacted yet. Su Yun was immediately frightened and screamed in panic. because Su Yun pinned all the hopes of their sisterhood on Li Xiaoluo. If Li Xiaoluo is assassinated now, they will still fall into the hands of Luo Yaoming and others. However, Luo Yaoming was obviously prepared. He hid the pistol in the most accessible place on his body, and even the safety was turned on after Luo Yaoming took the gun in his hand. He shot directly without any sloppiness. Even if Su Yun reminded Li Xiaoluo to avoid it immediately, it would be too late. Bang! A gunshot. Su Yun was a little desperate. When Luo Yaoming pulled the trigger on Li Xiaoluo, his face was actually very ferocious, if possible. Luo Yaoming actually doesn't want to kill Li Xiaoluo for the time being, because he is still thinking about the guns, food and medicines promised by Li Xiaoluo. He needs these things very much. In addition, there were Li Xiaoluo's accomplices in that bulletproof car. The woman in that car must have been pointing a gun at the people outside. If Luo Yaoming and the others dared to take action, the woman in the car would definitely shoot too. By then, Luo Yaoming and the others might also be killed. So Luo Yaoming worked hard to deal with Su Jinsong before, just to hand over his name to Li Xiaoluo, and then see if he could stabilize Li Xiaoluo first. But Luo Yaoming didn't expect that Li Xiaoluo would suddenly turn to the women of the sister group. This is something Luo Yaoming absolutely cannot tolerate, because if the women in the sister group get the guns and ammunition provided by Li Xiaoluo, they will definitely kill him. Luo Yaoming, first, since Li Xiaoluo wanted him to die. Luo Yaoming also risked his life and took action suddenly. All of this is because Li Xiaoluo is seeking death. After Luo Yaoming fired the gun, he immediately prepared to escape, because Luo Yaoming knew that after Li Xiaoluo died, the woman on the off-road vehicle would definitely shoot immediately after she reacted. However, Luo Yaoming, who originally planned to escape immediately, was suddenly dumbfounded, because he clearly saw the bullet hit Li Xiaoluo, but Li Xiaoluo was still standing there intact, as if nothing happened. There wasn't even a trace of blood on him. Damn it, what's going on? Didn't he hit Li Xiaoluo just now? Impossible. Although Luo Yaoming's marksmanship is not very good, he can definitely hit Li Xiaoluo at such a close distance. However, Luo Yaoming didn't have time to think about this weird scene. Even at this moment, Luo Yaoming couldn't care less about escaping. He raised the gun in his hand, pointed it at Li Xiaoluo and pulled the trigger. Since the shot has been fired, he must kill Li Xiaoluo. Bang! Bang! This time Luo Yaoming even fired 2 shots at Li Xiaoluo just in case. Moreover, after Luo Yaoming fired the gun, he stared at Li Xiaoluo. He must watch Li Xiaoluo die. However, Luo Yaoming was dumbfounded. In fact, everyone around was dumbfounded. Li Xiaoluo seemed to be frightened. He did not dodge when Luo Yaoming fired for the first time, and even did not dodge when Luo Yaoming fired for the second time. Just stand there and let the bullets hit him. But what everyone couldn't accept was that after the bullet fired from Luo Yaoming's gun hit Li Xiaoluo, it was like shooting on hard steel. Not only did the bullet not enter Li Xiaoluo's body, it was bounced away. Everyone who saw this scene couldn't believe their eyes. They must still be dreaming. Definitely a dream. Otherwise, how come some people are not even afraid of bullets? You? Who are you? Are you a human or a ghost? Luo Yaoming was stunned for a while. Then he looked at Li Xiaoluo in horror and asked stammeringly. Although Luo Yaoming has lived for decades, he can still be considered a person who has seen the world, but he was really shocked by something so contrary to common sense. Why won't you continue shooting? I still want you to continue tickling me. Li Xiaoluo looked at Luo Yaoming, who had a look of disbelief on his face, and said, pretending to be 13. In fact, the reason why Li Xiaoluo dared to get off the off-road vehicle was because he was not afraid of someone taking a cold shot at him. After all, Li Xiaoluo now possesses a variety of powers, and each power level is still level 2, so Li Xiaoluo has too many ways to deal with bullets. For example, Li Xiaoluo can teleport directly, and bullets cannot hide him at all. In addition, as it is now, Li Xiaoluo directly activated the golden power of the metal body protection, and he is now invulnerable. Since you stopped shooting, it's my turn. After Li Xiaoluo finished speaking, an automatic rifle suddenly appeared in his hand. Li Xiaoluo's move made everyone, including Luo Yaoming, dumbfounded. They clearly saw that Li Xiaoluo didn't have anything with him when he got out of the car just now, let alone a relatively large automatic rifle. Then how did the gun in Li Xiaoluo's hand suddenly appear? If Li Xiaoluo just had an extra pistol in his hand, everyone wouldn't be too surprised. Because of the small size of the pistol, Li Xiaoluo may have hidden the pistol in his clothes or around his waist like Luo Yaoming just now, but such a large automatic rifle cannot be hidden on Li Xiaoluo. No, they really saw a ghost. Mr. Li, I was joking with you just now. I know I was wrong. Please let me go. I am willing to trade women and food for your forgiveness. Facing such a mysterious Li Xiaoluo, Luo Yaoming was really afraid and no longer had any resistance. After all, Li Xiaoluo can't even be killed by a bullet, so what else can he do? Li Xiaoluo smiled. Are you kidding? It's okay. I actually like to joke around. Now I'll joke around with you too. After saying that, Li Xiaoluo did not give Luo Yaoming a chance to speak, and directly pulled the trigger. Da 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 da. Li Xiaoluo's automatic rifle fired a barrage of bullets, and Luo Yaoming was directly beaten into a sieve. Go to hell. When Li Xiaoluo shot Luo Yaoming, the man Luo Yaoming brought over suddenly waved the dagger in his hand, and then quickly stabbed Li Xiaoluo. That man's face was actually full of fear, because Li Xiaoluo can't be killed with a gun. Can he be killed with a dagger? But as Luo Yaoming's confidant, Luo Yaoming was kind to him, so he must avenge Luo Yaoming. And since Li Xiaoluo killed Luo Yaoming, then he, as Luo Yaoming's confidant, would definitely be killed by Li Xiaoluo. Therefore, he might as well strike first. He used to watch TV. Those who practiced magic skills like the Golden Bell Mask would have a weakness. Maybe Li Xiaoluo also had a weakness. Chapter 349. Is this man still a human being? However, as long as Li Xiaoluo uses the power of King Kong Bodyguard, he actually has no weaknesses. The only weakness, or in other words, if they want to kill Li Xiaoluo, they may have to wait for Li Xiaoluo's superpower time to end. Of course, regardless of whether they have weaknesses or not, Li Xiaoluo will never give them another chance to deal with him. The reason why Li Xiaoluo was shot by Luo Yaoming just now was actually because Li Xiaoluo deliberately let Luo Yaoming hide him. Otherwise, with Li Xiaoluo's reaction speed, even if Luo Yaoming was fully prepared, the bullets in his gun would not be able to hit Li Xiaoluo. The main reason why Li Xiaoluo did that was to shock all the women in that sister group, because only by frightening the women in the sister group can Li Xiaoluo reduce the time to conquer them. But now, Li Xiaoluo no longer needs to perform. Bang! Li Xiaoluo killed the man who was holding a dagger and wanted to assassinate him with a casual shot, in the blink of an eye. Luo Yaoming and others weren't all dead. In fact, all this happened a bit suddenly. Luo Yaoming's subordinates in the distance are still a little bit unrecovered, because they originally thought that their boss was going to have a good discussion on employment cooperation with Li Xiaoluo. But how could they have imagined that their boss would suddenly shoot and kill Li Xiaoluo? What they didn't expect was that Li Xiaoluo was not a human and couldn't even be hurt by bullets, and before they could recover from the shock, their boss and his closest confidants had all been killed by Li Xiaoluo. Suddenly, all the rest of them were at a loss. They didn't know what to do. Revenge for the boss. Luo Yaoming, stop joking. In a team of survivors after the apocalypse, there is no loyalty at all. Even if Luo Yaoming dies, many of his people may still be happy and want to be grateful to Li Xiaoluo. After all, who doesn't want to be the boss? Even when Luo Yaoming was alive, there were actually people who secretly had evil intentions and were waiting for the opportunity to kill Luo Yaoming. However, although no one wants to avenge Luo Yaoming, they are all afraid that Li Xiaoluo will kill them all because they are Luo Yaoming's subordinates. If that were the case, even if they knew they were no match for Li Xiaoluo, they would definitely fight to the end. But those people actually thought too much. Li Xiaoluo did not come here to kill people and seize territory. This time he has no interest in Luo Yaoming's men, nor does he have any intention of killing them all. If these people offended Li Xiaoluo in his territory, Taoyuan territory, then Li Xiaoluo would definitely kill them all, because Li Xiaoluo would never leave any trouble for himself. But this place is not Li Xiaoluo's territory. If these people really want to seek revenge and cause trouble in the future, they will also be looking for trouble from the sister group. Li Xiaoluo will never be found. Moreover, retaining these people can also bring a sense of crisis to the women in the sister group, which is actually good for Li Xiaoluo, because as long as there is still a sense of crisis, the women in the sister group will work harder for Li Xiaoluo. Everyone in Luo Yaoming, listen, your boss wanted to kill me, so he is dead now. But I am not someone who kills innocent people easily, so I will not vent my anger on you just because your boss wants to kill me. Then kill you all. However, because of your boss's behavior, you are all disqualified from being hired by me this time, so you can all get out now. Although Li Xiaoluo's words were unpleasant and arrogant, no one among the dozens of people on Luo Yaoming's side dared to retort forcefully. Li Xiaoluo was able to let them leave. In fact, many people were very lucky. Then everyone ran away. Su Yun looked at the thugs scattered like birds and beasts. She actually wished that Xialuo could shoot and kill them all. Even if you can't kill all the thugs, it would be good if you can kill most of them, because only by killing all this group of people or crippling them will they not be able to cause trouble to the sister group in the future. However, Xialuo was not Su Yun's subordinate, nor could she direct them to move, so Su Yun could only watch those thugs escape, and Su Yun is actually very happy to have such a result today. After all, if Xialuo hadn't appeared, the fate of their sisterhood would have been absolutely tragic. Women with courage or strong temper may die together with those thugs if a woman doesn't have courage. She can only be caught and used as a plaything by those men. So now that all their sisters are alive, it's really like a dream. When all Luo Yaming's men ran away, all that was left were the bodies lying on the ground. At this time, Bai Jing sent a woman over to ask if they could come over and discuss business with Xialuo. Xialuo did not expect that Bai Jing was very careful and particular about her work. Although she knew that they posed no threat to Xialuo, she still abided by the rules. Xialuo waved his hand and asked everyone in the sister group to come over. He still needs them to do things. Bai Jing came over with all the women in the sister group, and then they looked at Xialuo with surprise in their eyes. This man who can't be hurt by bullets, is he still human? Although the women in the sister group basically hate men, for Xialuo who saved them and because of Xialuo's mystery, they don't seem to have the same dislike or hatred for Xialuo as other men do. Hello, Mr. Li. My name is Bai Jing. I am the leader of the sister group. On behalf of all the members of the sister group, I would like to thank you, Mr. Li, for saving us. If you have anything to say, Mr. Li, as long as our sister group can do it, we will definitely complete the matter for you. Bai Jing looked at Xialuo sincerely. She was grateful from the bottom of her heart that Xialuo saved all of them. Bai Jing is indeed a very beautiful woman, and she also has a cool and noble temperament. She and that Su Yun are two completely different types of beautiful women, but now, Xialuo has no time to waste on women, and he is not very interested in these ordinary women now. Xialuo has actually seen it a long time ago. Among the women in the sister group, there are no women with supernatural talents, but Xialuo didn't care. Survivors with supernatural talents are very rare to begin with, so they can be encountered at any time. Xialuo looked at Bai Jing and said, "Don't worry, although I saved you, the promise I made before will still be effective. As long as you work hard for me, weapons, medicines, food, etc. will be greatly improved." Okay, nonsense. Without further ado, it's time for you to do the work for me. Then Xialuo waved his hand, and several intact cars suddenly appeared in front of all the women. This scene once again dumbfounded all the women. Chapter 350. It's definitely not the body of a beautiful woman like Su Yun. Xialuo not only provided the sisters with cars, but also provided them with 10 guns, including 5 pistols and 5 automatic rifles, but the number of bullets given to them was not large. These guns are used for self-protection when they go out to perform tasks. After all, they are all women. When they go out to perform tasks, they are definitely more likely to run into trouble than men. If they don't have guns in their hands to deter the enemy, it will really be easy for them to get into trouble. Before they get a meteorite back for themselves, Xialuo will not let anything happen to them. As for the food and medicine promised by Xialuo, just like the previous 2 bases, Bai Jing and the others need to find the meteorite to get points, and then use the points to redeem them from Xialuo. Although Bai Jing and the others didn't know why Xialuo asked them to go out to look for meteorites, and also paid such a high price. However, all the women in the sister group are very happy and very willing to do this for Xialuo, because Xialuo really gave them so many guns, then they will basically have no problem protecting themselves in the future. So whether it is to repay Li Charlotte's kindness or to exchange for food for the points promised by Li Charlotte, they are very willing to look for meteorites, and they were just going out to look for some rocks, not letting them fight, so there was no big danger at all. In addition, just like the previous 2 bases, Xialuo asked Bai Jing and the others to find a new building as their new shelter, and then Xialuo built a teleportation array in their shelter, so that Xialuo could come to them at any time. Of course, it was still the old rule. After Xialuo built the teleportation array, he took Su Yun from the sister group back to the Taoyuan leader headquarters through the teleportation array. For the person in charge of each base, Xialuo will take their close friends to Taoyuan to be used as hostages. Bai Jing calls Aunt Su Yun, and the relationship between the two is like sisters. Su Yun is the person closest to Bai Jing, so she is naturally the best candidate for hostage. It is definitely not the body of a beautiful woman like Su-yoon that Li Xiaoluo covets. Li Xiaoluo is not such a person. However, Su-yoon's sudden disappearance still shocked Bai Jing and the women in the sister group again. The shock that Li Xiaoluo brought to them was really getting bigger every time. At first, bullets couldn't hurt him, then Li Xiaoluo was able to suddenly transform an automatic rifle, and now he suddenly transformed a living person thousands of miles away. As for why they knew that Su-yoon had gone thousands of miles away, it was naturally because Bai Jing used the walkie-talkie given by Li Xiaoluo to contact Su-yoon and knew the situation there. At this time, even if Li Xiaoluo says that he is a god, the women in the sister group will believe it, because the facts are right in front of them. After knowing the magic of Li Xiaoluo, the women in the sister group became even more excited, because they even felt quite honored to be able to work for someone as powerful as Li Xiaoluo. After Li Xiaoluo arranged the affairs of the sister group, he originally had no intention of staying in their new stronghold, and planned to immediately drive Alice to the last stop of his trip. But when Li Xiaoluo was about to leave, Li Xiaoluo's walkie-talkie suddenly rang. Mr. Li, I am Ding Tingting from base number 1. We found some meteorites outside yesterday and brought back the golden eggs you mentioned in the meteorites. Can you come and get them now? Ling Tingting spoke very tactfully on the intercom, but Li Xiaoluo could feel the anxiety in her tone. Maybe it's not Ling Tingting who is anxious, but the people under her who are anxious. First of all, many people in base number 1 where Ling Tingting is located were injured, so they are in urgent need of medicine. After they found some meteorites, they naturally wanted to exchange them for medicines from Li Xiaoluo immediately. Moreover, many of the survivors after the apocalypse may have some diseases and want some medicine to treat them. Secondly, they didn't know whether Li Xiaoluo would really give them food, medicine, etc. after finding the meteorite. After all, in the post-apocalyptic world, there is basically no trust between people. No matter how big Li Xiaoluo's pie is, if they can't see the real thing, they will always feel uneasy. After thinking about this, Li Xiaoluo was not surprised that Ling Tingting was anxious to let him go, and she didn't mean to be angry or find it troublesome, because what Ling Tingting brought Li Xiaoluo over to get was a crystal. How could Li Xiaoluo find it troublesome? Moreover, Li Xiaoluo only has the last city left in his itinerary, and he doesn't care about wasting a little time. Okay, I'll be right over. Li Xiaoluo replied to Ling Tingting on the walkie-talkie, and then teleported directly from the teleportation array at base number 3 to base number 1. Let me mention here that Li Xiaoluo has established a total of 3 bases in the past 2 days. The situation is as follows. Base number 1, Hang City. The person in charge of base number 1 is Ding Tingting, and Ding Tingting's sister and mother are guests in Taoyuan on base number 2, Lin City. The person in charge of base number 2 is Zhao Weiguo, and his wife is in Taoyuan on base number 3, Guan City. The person in charge of base number 3 is Bai Jing, and Bai Jing's aunt Su-yoon leads it in Taoyuan. The personnel in the above 3 bases actually only have an employment relationship with Li Xiaoluo. Li Xiaoluo does not necessarily need them to do things for him all the time, let alone support them all the time. Li Xiaoluo will only look for them when he needs them, just like looking for meteorites this time. Of course, since it is an employment relationship, Li Xiaoluo will naturally pay them every time he uses them. In fact, everyone can accept this approach. In addition, no matter whether the people in these 3 bases will work for Li Xiaoluo in the future, the teleportation arrays built by Li Xiaoluo in their 3 bases will always belong to Li Xiaoluo. Li Xiaoluo can also reach the cities where the 3 bases are located through those teleportation arrays at any time. In this regard, Li Xiaoluo was actually very domineering. This is just like before the end of the world. Some big countries want to build military bases in some small countries with very important geographical locations. Even those powerful and domineering countries will negotiate with other small countries about rent or promise some benefits. But when Li Xiaoluo built teleportation arrays in other people's shelters, he was directly forced to build them. In the post-apocalyptic world, the weak have no right to refuse. Mr. Li, when Li Xiaoluo appeared at base number 1 through the teleportation array, Ding Tingting and the people at base number 1 were very happy. Everyone quickly said hello to Li Xiaoluo. Li Xiaoluo waved his hand. Stop talking nonsense, take out everything you find, and then tell me what supplies you want to exchange for. End of this chapter. Thank you very much for reaching the end. Don't forget to like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription, or donation encourages us to continue. Thanks to everyone. See you in the next video.